Hello, and welcome to episode 121 of the Destiny Community Podcast. This week, I would like to introduce to you our wonderful guests. I'm just going right into it. CoolGuy. We used to work with them back in Destiny.
We have two guests. CoolGuy and Pope Bear.
You're not a guest, Pope.
Always have to make it about you. Always have to make it about you.
I thought we fired this guy. What happened? How come he's back?
We did. He snuck his way back into the building. Security tried to kick him out, but
now we're live.
You didn't get the hint when the paycheck stopped showing up?
He never got them in the first place.
You guys get paid?
I appreciate you guys having me, man.
Thank you for being on.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for showing up, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up.
Thanks for showing up. Unlike Pope.
Barely. We made it.
You're setting the bar really high.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time we had a no-show.
Well, CoolGuy, I put out a tweet every once in a while of like, hey, what content creator are you listening to? Are you watching to get your Destiny information? Who should we have on the show? And you have a fervent community of people that were saying just very strongly about your content.
They're all like, get Houndish on, get Houndish on.
No, they were saying
Houndish is great, by the way.
Yes, Houndish is great, Briar. But we had a lot of people that were focusing on the quality of your content, and that they're using the term, just that they were saying that you were like the unnoticed, right? Like that you should be having like 3 times, 4 times the views that you have. Your content is high quality. Underappreciated.
No.
Thank you. I had a brain freeze as to like the word I was looking for. Thank you. And I gotta say, I went through and I watched your catalog. You've been doing it for a while, but like 15, 20 videos, and you completely 100% agree. You've got some really high quality stuff that you put out regularly, and I just wanted to lift you up. And I know I want to ask you a few questions, but I also just wanted to tell you that I really truly appreciate you holding up a high bar for yourself and the quality of your stuff that you put out.
So I really appreciate that. And to anyone listening, is it every 5-6 months I'll see you post that, and I get tagged in it, and it's really cool, man. And I'm here because of that, right? And with my content, it takes me a little bit longer to do, and I kind of do things my own way, right? And it's just really cool seeing. I mean, I've been doing this for, just like with you guys, 2 or 3 years, right? And I don't upload I maybe do 2 or 3 videos a week. I'm trying to get better at that. I'm doing it a little bit more full time now. But when I do something, I take a lot of pride in it. And it's really cool that people notice that, because, everybody here knows it's hard work, right? It's hard work getting all the editing down.
Can you expand on that too? Can you kind of dig into the process? Like, where do you start? How do you expand it?
Sure. So for me, I mostly do YouTube. And I'm trying to get on Twitch, my computer, trying to get the graphics card up. It has a GTX 720. In case you guys don't know what that is, it's ancient. Like, I couldn't even find any information on it.
It's
right?
very old.
That is old.
So
that's pre-Destiny. Right? We call that pre-Destiny technology. Yes.
So yeah, I downloaded it when they had the free weekend, and I tried playing Destiny. It's like at 2 frames, man. It's horrid. But I have an i7. It's good for editing.
Yeah.
So for me, some weapons, like I did the 4-con conclusion when Warmind came out. That's the Think Doctrine of Passing. It's the fast-firing AR. And a lot of people ask me, why are you covering that? And for me, I have a couple friends that really like it, but there are players out there that like lesser used stuff, and I think it's important that if they want to find information on it, they have somewhere to go. It's like I went all in, like effective range on the foregone conclusion, which a lot of people are like, even in my comments, they're like, "What are you doing?" But I think that's
what
important.
What are these Brussels sprouts that you're promoting here? What's going on?
Yeah. So generally, there's certain things that I do. Like we just did a last word video. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that in this podcast.
Last word's out.
Yeah, last word. So, I first find a strength and a weakness of it, and we talk about why it's weak against that, what we can do to combat that, and why it's strong, right? And then we can capitalize on what it does very strongly.
Nice.
One of the things that I really appreciated, and I'm glad you brought up the last word video you made. One of the things that I appreciated the most about it is that it took just like a scientific approach to how the gun operates, and
Sure.
and not just like what's the numbers are, but how you could utilize it if you, depending on your play style, and how you could use it effectively, and some tips and strategies on how to play. Little things that you dropped in there, like the reticle bloom and how that works, and the visual markers of that, the stuff that I hadn't heard anybody really explain before.
Yeah, so, and that's a part of what I like to do, right? To go in depth. And since he's back, I'll wait for him to put on his headset. I don't know if you can hear me, but I mean, loosely, when I first started YouTube, it's off of Holtzman, man. I remember watching Holtzman's videos and seeing how he does his reviews. So, I mean, I do it my own way, but it's loosely based off that. So things like that, I think it's important for a player, especially with the last word. Extremely tough weapon to use, right?
Mhm.
I think that, I mean, no matter if you're on console or on PC, on console, it's extremely tough to use. But
I apologize for leaving. My upstairs neighbor, for some reason, decided it's 6:23 p.m. perfect time to start hanging stuff up on the walls every night.
Sometimes you got to hang a picture, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
but
Present.
I think it's important because there's a lot of people that are using the last word for the very first time right now, right? Maybe they didn't play D1 and they're excited, they're hyped about it. And there are a lot of things about the last word you need to know going in, right? It's extremely tough to use. So I try to show that. And there's some players that will probably give up on it before they really start using it a lot. And some players only play, an hour a night, maybe just the weekends. And games are a little bit more fun when you're doing well in them, right? You're a little bit more informed. So that's what I try to go for. If that makes sense.
And that's really the thing that I was going to say. There is 2 high quality reviews of The Last Word. For example, you have Holtzman's video.
Absolutely.
Right? They're both high quality. And I watch Holtzman's and I become informed. And then I watch yours and I feel like I get as a casual player, I feel like you explain stuff that that I needed to know, and it puts it in terms that
things you wouldn't have automatically thought about as a casual player, right?
Right, that I maybe didn't know or wouldn't have thought about,
Mhm.
and that kind of way that he approaches the gun makes me feel like I wanted to go try it after the video. I got off it. I'm like, it's not shitting on the gun, there's some downsides to it, but hey, go out and try it. Use these tips and see if it works for you.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
I really appreciate it, Pope.
So I wanted to ask you, like, to get to Tefty's point, I want to ask you about your process. All right. So you part of this show is about highlighting and lifting up and bringing in voices that are doing good things in the community. Also, there's a bunch of people out there that want to know, like, how you do the things you do, right? To know the man behind the video. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, like, how did you get started in gaming and in content creation? Patrick said he knew you from the Planet Destiny days. So how did you get involved in Destiny and content creation and gaming in general?
When I first started, and it's really cool. So we'd watch Planet Destiny, very big, we'd 400, 500,000 view videos on, say, Patrick would cover The Last Word, and there's a whole bunch of channels out there and just get hyped. So there's like 4 or 5 things that I personally wanted to say, because I'm mostly a Crucible player, right? And that's kind of where, the foundation of my channel is to make the game to play a little bit easier for you. So the 4 or 5 things I wanted to do and talk about, just to help people get a little bit better at the game. So I made those, and I made those with my Xbox, right? And back then, I just made it with the Xbox, and I talked fast. The quality was horrible. But it turned out, they started showing up on Reddit and different things. People liked what I had to say. And if we talked about my graphics card not too long ago, I had the computer before this that, it puts this to shame, if that makes sense. So I got a pod capture card.
Wait, you got a computer
worse than the one that I have now?
The one with the 720 in it?
Oh, yeah. Dude, hey, I would upload I would render a 7-minute video at night, and I would have to go to bed, okay? And when I woke up, I was lucky if my computer didn't crash, right? That's the world I was living in.
That's how I started.
Yeah, it's tough, right?
I was using a crappy laptop, and I was at the time doing Skyrim Let's Plays, so the videos were like 40 minutes long, and it took you can imagine a long time.
Were they at 1080p? What?
No, they were at 720.
No. 720?
Yeah.
They were HD-ish.
Yeah. It was.
But and it goes out there for anyone listening though. If you do want to do content creation, like I did with my Xbox, you can do it, right? You can do it. I did it. So I got this a Pog, and then Planet Destiny contacts me and says, "Hey, and that was a big deal. I mean, that was a huge deal back then. There's Teff, Breyer, and Holtzman, everybody that was on there. It was what was it? Paper Cut to You, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Paper Cut, like Paper Cut, Sir Wallen, Breyer,
Sir Wallen,
and like Mace John. Those were the OG like reviewers on Planet Destiny.
Paper Cut and his universal remote, man.
Yeah,
that pushed me to go and start, because I started doing weapon reviews, and that pushed me to go get a computer, right? Get an Elgato, things like that. And I remember my very first thing, and I'll never forget it. I put up a Hopscotch Pilgrim review, and it was my very first review for Planet Destiny. And of course, when you create something, you're kind of shy when you put it out there, like, oh, I hope people like it, things like that. But I'll never forget it, because in that group chat, Tefty was the first one. He said, "You did an awesome job on that." Right, and that means a lot to me. Till this day, it means a lot to me. And then Holtzman backed it up, and Holtzman's like the king, So it really pushed me with my content to try to get better with it. And we are where we are today. I mean, that's how I started, and it's been a blast ever since.
Cool, yeah. That's awesome, man.
Let me tell you something about Holtzman. He's just a man like you and me. He puts his pants on one leg at a time.
He eats 15 pounds of crawdads, one crawdad at a time.
I heard about that.
Yeah. I don't know if he does eat one crawdad at a time. I would, with 15 pounds, I think you're looking at least 5.
You're not enjoying these
crawdads? Like popcorn, you just grab a handful.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's usually 1.5 at a time, because one is going into the mouth while the other is like getting unpeeled too,
dripping down your shirt.
Yeah.
Going up the conveyor belt as you're getting it.
Yeah. So if you haven't figured it out by now, Cole, this podcast does tend to
meander,
veer off in these random directions, and they usually
laser
revolve
focus
around some
laser
sort
focus.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm all for it.
Yeah. So
you guys see the blood moon?
No,
I was streaming at the time.
Actually.
It wasn't that good. It was overcast here.
Tattoos his ass cheek one at a time.
One pixel at a time. He's getting his tattoo done
one drop of ink at a time.
Yeah.
It'll
be 15 years before that's finished.
Interesting.
Speaking of last word,
I did want to thank Cool for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. We're excited to hear your views on on what's been happening, and welcome.
Sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
So
last word, right?
Should we do like a raise of hands? Who got the last word this week?
I have 2.
I got 1.
You got 2?
Yeah, I did it on PS4 and PC.
What'd you guys think of the quest for the last word?
Well, no spoilers, okay?
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers?
No,
you get the last word.
Spoiler. You get the last word.
So the quest has multiple components to it, and I'm not going to spoil what they are, but like the first one's pretty simple. Like they're all pretty simple. There's a couple of PvP elements where you have to actually like maintain a positive KD for a few games.
Actually, no, you don't have to maintain positive though.
Sorry, like 0.5 KD, right?
It's above 0.5. Yeah. If you're above 0.5, you move the needle forward.
0.51, and you will eventually get there.
Yeah.
Assist too, right?
Yeah, assist count.
Assist, so.
But before we go on any further, there was some controversy in the community. There's a lot of people talking about
this right now.
Quest.
Okay.
Are we going there now?
We doing this?
Yeah,
we're
doing it. No,
we're doing it.
We're actually doing this.
We're doing it.
I'm
but
really
people are going to get mad at me for my opinion.
Okay. I never actually saw anyone complaining. I saw people complaining about the complaining. But I never saw
I did too, actually, now that you mention it.
Was Reddit complaining? Was the forums complaining?
I saw a lot of people
complaining about people complaining.
Reddit complaining?
But I just never
were the
actually
forums
saw
complaining?
I don't.
Maybe that's where it was.
Nobody goes to the forums.
Well, that's why we don't see it.
There's people
we
saying
protect ourselves
it's
from
the murky
worst
backwaters that nobody touches except for a few.
Yeah, I saw a lot of what I'll call constructive feedback for it. So
about the PvP. So let me just get through the quest. I'm not going to spoil the quest, but the quest has multiple components. There's some grindy bits like getting 75 headshots on certain enemies. There's you got to kill like 15 of like another certain type of enemy, and there's some PvP bits where you gotta perform somewhat decently in the Crucible. And then there's another bit in the Crucible where you actually have to earn certain types of medals, like 25 of
blood for blood. You have to
Blood
kill
for blood and
someone
best
that
served cold.
just killed a teammate.
Yeah, or get revenge on the person who killed you. Get 25 of those medals.
Right. So I was trying to be
usually
non-specific about it, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to consider that.
Just don't. Okay, the last part of the quest is really cool. We're not going to say what it is.
Okay.
You should enjoy it.
Awesome.
And I haven't done that
So-
part yet, so
There was some pushback about having a weapon that required players to play PvP. Not all players who play Destiny play PvP. In fact, it seems like the majority don't actually. Like when we hear numbers about it, like the majority of players are like PvE players.
Mhm.
And then there's some pushback on the pushback where there's a lot of people out there
Double
saying
pushback.
it was double. It was double
That's
trouble.
called a slapback.
That's called a slapback. It is.
That's not what I heard.
Can you fill us in
Patrick
on the
should
slapback?
in this part of the conversation.
Can we get a judgment on that slapback usage?
Yeah. How many last words out of 5?
You know, I'm going to say I think people got really angry at the people that weren't happy with the quest, and like I can understand why people are frustrated at doing it. If you don't PvP and you see your progress go down, like every time you
It's
die,
demoralizing.
it is very demoralizing.
Yeah.
At the same time, like if you are so focused on just completing the quest, yeah, you're probably going to get really frustrated every time that you die. The player in me says just
Get good.
just
what you're
I'm gonna take the diplomatic approach and say play passive, because then you don't die and you
No,
don't
so-
have
You know,
to get
scout
good.
rifles got buffed.
Yeah,
There's a bigger-
apparently.
Fire, we're
there's
going to talk about
We're
that
gonna talk
later.
about
But there's a
He's
bigger thing in
implying,
here.
yeah.
There's a bigger thing in here that this quest takes a player like me that's arguably mostly PvE and challenges me to do something different, challenges me to go out and play the game different. I respect a game that's asking me to do that, that is asking me to do a quest that's slightly outside of my comfort zone. I feel
Exactly.
like everything that they were asking was within reason.
It's totally
It was
within
not
reason.
extreme. It was not. It was all possible.
Uh-huh.
And there are areas that maybe because you're not a great at PvP that you're going to have to struggle. But that through that struggling, there's some lessons, some core lessons to Crucible or PvP that are important to learn. And that's, you know, recognizing your radar, putting yourself in advantageous positions, sticking around your teammates. These are all important core elements to PvP that if you are not familiar with, this quest will ask you to do that, right? This quest will ask you to be closer to your teammates, you know, pick your engagements and things like that. And it's not impossible, but it does challenge those people that are not good at PvP.
Well, but even then, I mean, how often do people go in and get less than a 0.5?
Man,
pretty often.
Pretty often? Really?
It's not really about, for me, like I was saying earlier about the KD, like I've seen people that are exceptionally bad and they still have like a 0.8 at the end.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just the fact that every time you die, it goes back down. So you're gaining like these small percents over the course of a game. But I think it's more the fact
double back.
Then the issue is that people are expecting not to die. And if you're not great at PvP, you can't just go in there and assume you're going to go flawless every game and get 100% progress towards the match. Like that's just, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed then. Like as long as you're getting above a 0.5, you're making progress on the quest. And I think that's okay.
Unfortunately, I think people would be mad if the quest said, go into a PvP game. Because anytime in Destiny that a quest has ever required any amount of PvP, people get very, very, very upset. And, you know, the last word has always been a PvP weapon. It's fun to mess around with in PvE. But, you know, if you want to get 1,000 voices, you have to go raid because it's a raid gun. If you want to go and get Blast Furnace, maybe you want to use it in PvP because it's really good in PvP. You got to go do the forge. Not only that, you have to unlock the forges. And those are way, way, way longer and more grindy than, you know, you can just casually play and do the last word quest. You don't have to put this pressure on yourself of I have to get it right now.
Exactly.
If you just casually play the Crucible, you will eventually get it as long as you're keeping in mind to play passive and just work on getting assists, and you'll get there eventually. I just, you know, a lot of PvP players have played a lot of PvE to get guns that they want. And any time that a quest requires any tiny amount of PvP, no matter how tiny, people get really upset.
Well, I also believe it's something more fundamental than that, Watts. It's not, that's something about this particular quest that it's an example of it. But I feel like sometimes when there is loot involved, when there is something we want from the task that we're being asked to do, the frustration acts, to not get that, we lash out, right? And
especially if you're making negative progress.
Right. And so my mindset is to ask those people to because I feel like, I'm not a PvP player, and I felt like it was a reasonable ask, is to take the approach like this. Video games have always been about a challenge. The challenge is the fun part of it. Getting through a level, scoring a high score, getting all the hearts, getting all the coins. It's always a challenge to do it. And if you go about these quests with the mindset of just, I want the loot, give me the loot, you're going to have a horrible time, and you're going to play poorly, and you're going to be frustrated. If you think about it from the mindset of, hey, this is a challenge where I'm going to have to learn maybe some new things and apply myself in a different way, you'll have fun and go about it in that way. I think it's a mindset thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they need to do? They need to come up with songs like me and Patrick did. We came up with a song called Shotgun Man.
Shotgun Man.
So every time we got ran at with a shotgun, we go, Shotgun Man. He's coming straight out of the trash. Yeah, we just made songs.
And it made the experience
right
so
there.
much better.
It did.
Because then it
Reaction
taught you
I
to
heard-
recognize that there's Shotgun Man.
Shotgun Man.
And
There's Shotgun Man. Avoid him.
The
Yes.
reaction I heard from the community was the negative progress thing, whereas I don't play any PvP, so for me to get into PvP is really hard, and it's demoralizing that if I have one game and then have a bad game after that, I go back to zero.
Mhm.
And I could definitely understand that, how that could be really frustrating.
Yeah.
Like in most any other quest in Destiny, you're constantly building up. Like you very rarely lose progress in Destiny, but for some reason it was the same thing with Thorn in year 1, right? Is where you made negative
that was
progress.
brutal.
500 void kills in the Crucible, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, early Hunter didn't have a void subclass
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
That's true.
Yes.
I had to use a green void shotgun to get that done.
77 wizard.
Yep.
That's what I used.
Yep.
Nice.
I was
So
lucky I
that's
had
right.
a void primary from the raid.
I had that, but I
Atheon's
didn't use
epilogue.
it because it was so bad at that time.
Oh, it was fine. It was good.
Oh no,
Like,
Yeah, I feel
Auto
like
rifles
the
were good
quest
back
is-
then, man.
no.
I feel like we need to really honor the fact that Bungie is putting together these types, because where we were in D1 and now where we are now post Forsaken, these quests are a lot better.
They really
And
are.
I like that. I feel like we're in a different place. There is tons of stuff to do on PvE and PvP, and there's guns in PvP.
It's
I
not
think
asking
there's so
you.
much stuff now.
It's not asking
it's
you to
just
run
okay.
out of medals or to get a run out of medals
Right.
in a PvP match. Like
Yeah.
it's not like that type of level. It's not asking you
No.
to hit 5,500.
But depending on your skill level,
Yeah.
the challenge is still there, and it still may be just as
Absolutely.
unobtainable as we ran out
So,
of medals. Like
I
if you
thought
don't
was
never
re-
play PvP, then maintaining that positive KD for multiple games in a row can be that difficult.
I'll be honest. I think if people think that they can't maintain a 0.5, I think it's because they just don't believe that they can go into the Crucible.
Yeah.
It's not even a 0.5; it's a 0.2.
It's the power of positive thought.
No,
If we
no
think
joke.
about
Because
if we think about the world getting cooler, it will.
no, I mean some people they don't realize that if they just shoot one bullet into a foot and then their teammate gets that kill, that actually counts towards the progress.
Get an auto rifle and spray everything.
Yeah.
It's an assist.
Just spin around in a circle.
sweet business.
So
Sweet
I
business.
don't recommend being a shotgun rusher, but even if you are a shotgun rusher and you're constantly trading, you're actually going up because trades equal a 1% up value on that. So
I was actually serious about a scout rifle too. Like, get a scout rifle because they're really good now, and you're much safer in the back of the map
Is
with a
that
scout
the coward's weapon, Brian?
I believe that is very derogatory. I
Lots
can't
of
believe you would
people
say
from
that in
your
public.
stream came into my stream and told me what you do.
Look,
So,
Watson, it's been a while since I played any PvP. I need a little.
I want you guys to know that the what this has done to me in the Crucible, and it's funny. While I was waiting to get those, avenge your teammate that just dies. So instead of team shooting, I'm hiding around a corner, waiting for him to die, and then popping out and trying to finish off the kill. It was really sad. I felt like I was leaving I was leaving my teammate out to we're running down a hallway together. He's like, oh, it's 2-on-1. And then he steps out and engages the enemy. And I'm like, meh.
Yeah,
I just went into mayhem. Everyone's
into
dying
mayhem.
all
Mayhem.
the time.
You can just wait for your super and just pop it when you have your golden gun and kind of.
I'm like, oh look, everyone died to a blade barrage. Oh, thanks, guys.
So I actually had a problem with a different part of this quest. The part of the quest where you had to go into 15 lost sectors and kill the wanted bounties, I found to be extraordinarily boring.
That was rough.
Yeah,
I just got to run in and out of this lost sector and just kill this one dude 15 times. Like,
yes.
While you wait for a public
right.
event, doesn't this ring a bell? Something that you did in the past already? Something that was shelved. Yeah, that was pretty boring.
But I will say, without spoiling anything, I got to say that there's kind of like a mission at the very end. It was really cool.
It was cool.
And there's like a new mechanic to it that there's actually two new mechanics that I thought was pretty awesome and really kind of fits with the theme of the whole the objective.
Yeah, that was
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good.
Yeah, same.
And then you actually get the weapon. And we want to talk about that when you actually get last word and use it. And it turns out if you were mainly a PvE player, you're probably not going to use this.
Ever
False.
again.
I used it a ton in PvE and I loved it.
I'm pretty sure there's a video right now of them taking down
I
the
am absolutely
last.
correct. It was fun.
When you need to forge your kindled orchid, you can use the last word.
I actually did do that too.
If you just want to have fun with the pew-pews, the last word is great. And throwing Lunafactions on, it's not like the most effective way to melt a boss, but it's really fun.
You're absolutely correct about that.
It's really fun to be a last word turret sitting in a puddle of warlock piss.
Oh, so were you on a warlock, Tefty?
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, I was for a moment there.
Just every stream.
I used the last word in PvP and in PvE, both in D1 and also yesterday. And it's a fun weapon. I mean, you feel like a space cowboy using it. I like it a lot. It's got, it's obviously got some weaknesses to it. And that's A-OK. Hip firing on mouse and keyboard feels incredible. And I'm very happy that the gun is back.
What's the chest piece that the warlock has that causes
It's chromatic fire. It's awesome.
That could be good with the last
I
word,
don't
right?
have that.
It's fun. I mean, Firefly, last word. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm into that.
That's what I do when I go for my kindled orchid.
The gun is pretty fun. I mean, it feels like the last word from Destiny 1, right? It kind of feels like the Gear 1 version of the gun because the gun's got crazy range in the Crucible.
It feels like the aggressive ballistics version of the last word in Destiny 1. It's got a lot of recoil.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's got a lot of recoil. I hear console is pretty rough.
Yeah, so
Controller.
I play on PC, and the thing is very controllable with a mouse and keyboard. But apparently, with a controller, it's pretty rough.
ADSing, definitely a lot of recoil. You can get used to it. You can get used to controlling it. There's a lot of people who now are saying it's actually not that bad. I learned that I have to pull it this way to have it be controllable. But hip fire is still freaking amazing. Like the range on hip fire, the accuracy is just so good.
And it's got nearly perfect in air accuracy.
It's
air. Amazing. You don't really even need to ADS with it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, it's such a cool weapon, and you can use it both ways. ADS, you can hip fire, you can tap the trigger, you can hold the trigger. There's no wrong way. They have the same end result. But I mean, in this version, perks change a little bit. We kind of missed out on our precision damage. I mean, would you guys have liked that instead of what we have now?
I feel.
I don't want.
Is there room in
It's
Destiny 2
shot,
PvP
honestly.
for that?
I don't want it to be broken and then it becomes the
kills
gun that
so
everybody has
fast.
to use.
Yeah, I mean, absurd,
feels so bad.
absurd body TTK. It's
Yeah.
the same as the Thunderlord. Like, absurd.
I'd much rather it be a consistent weapon that you always know what to expect than just like sometimes you just randomly die to like, the 2 shots.
just delete it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's really
I think
fun.
they did a great job.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I like the.
I use it on PC, use it on console, use it with controller, try it out with keyboard and mouse, and all the ways it's my favorite gun in Destiny. It actually makes me like Crucible now, which is
How was?
Yeah, but we were talking about that. I mean, I'm an Xbox guy, and once you get that weapon in your hands, the Crucible just felt different, right? The very first match you stepped in, you're like, all right, and a little bit more aggressive. The gunfights are very quick, just kind of like early Destiny 1. I mean, and the elephant in the room that they talk about Thorn is, Hawkmoon after that, right? Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. I like to talk about that. But it's
You're
good.
an Xbox player. Do you even know what Hawkmoon is?
You don't know what Hawkmoon is.
Have
right?
you actually
The
used
version that I got
Year One
was
Hawkman?
in comparison.
You know the neutered version of Hawkman.
Yeah.
You know the clipped version. The one that
That
came
was
with
the
You know about the
insult
half
to
moon.
Xbox users ever. It was
Our-
awful.
Participation Hawkmoon is what we got.
It's the pigeon moon now.
Contractual
instead of the Hawkmoon.
obligation, Hawkmoon.
Yeah.
I got the Hawkmoon that was now like broken down and living in a zoo, and people are just walking by like
clipped
throwing
wings
things at it.
moon.
Yeah,
That's rough.
it's too bad.
Jesus.
It was still
we
a
did
good
get a
gun, though.
teaser
I'm
that
just giving you a hard
the
time.
Thorn is coming back with the Season of the Drifter, right?
Yeah, we did.
I wonder
Looks
if it's
like
going to have the same properties as it used to. Right? Will it be, because that gun caused problems in the Crucible.
So
Final round.
In a different sandbox, it caused problems.
Right.
So one thing
at
I've
a
noticed
time.
with all the weapons that they're bringing back, they very much keep like the iconic thing about that item from its former glory days. So like last word, full auto hand cannon.
Yeah. What's iconic about Thorn? The fact that it maps
Poison.
you, or the fact that it gives
Poison.
you damage over
Damage
time?
over time.
Or is it the
Poison
fact that it does both?
both.
Yep.
I
Poison.
believe that they're going to bring back Thorn as close to the original as possible, but the tick damage is going to be slightly represented differently, similar to what we see tick damage done with the guns that we have now. So I don't think that there's a problem with there's several abilities that the Dark Guardians have and other that have damage over time, and I think it's going to be represented similar to that.
Okay, what if?
Yeah, like what if
There's
the
no way
damage
that-
over time, like with One-Eyed Mask, how he gets the overshield, what if that just instantly stops that? I think it'd be interesting in direct counters. Depends on how they do it.
What if Thorn just gives you the ability to have One-Eye Mask in a hand cannon?
Ooh.
What if it just causes that person to have their one-eyed mask deleted?
Oh,
Over 9,000, yeah.
Oh, you shot somebody with it, and they just deletes from their inventory.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they don't even
Yeah,
get
that sounds
like, the
reasonable.
legendary
Interesting.
shards.
Interesting thought process.
What if
here,
it
guys.
turns him into a warlock?
Whoa, God.
Oh man!
I'm out.
Too
No,
far.
this conversation's crazy.
But
Hit him in the
isn't the
middle of
guy
the jump
isn't
and
the
they just
guy
start
who created Thorn? Wasn't he a hunter though?
Believe
yeah.
so.
Titan. No, the
Oh,
person
was he?
who created.
No,
Thorn-
I think Thorn was Warlock. No?
I haven't watched Fife's newest feature
Fife,
film
where-
yet,
Yeah, I
Where are
so
haven't
I'm not
watched the
sure.
video yet. I haven't seen. It's like an hour and a half. I haven't watched
think-
it yet.
I thought we were
Last
War
word is
Masters here,
hunter,
guys.
right?
What's going on?
He was a
I'm
Titan.
15 minutes
apparently.
in.
Oh,
He was a
Pope.
Titan.
He was a Titan Pope.
Jesus.
He was a Titan that became
Oh
a hunter.
my God.
He probably made the one
Oh,
I
right.
too.
a shame.
No, but when he
Titan
was
of-
good,
yourself a
when he was a
Titan.
good guardian, he was a Titan. When he was a bad guardian, he became a hunter.
No,
Good.
Sounds
still
about right.
was a Titan.
wanna be a
still
bad
was
guy.
a Titan. The one of the sets, Titan sets, is him, or is his armor basically.
Ah,
Mm.
interesting. Yes.
I watched a video about this, and I'm pretty sure he was a hunter. But anyway,
We thought he was a hunter until we knew he was a Titan.
Until Bife told us otherwise.
I really hope with that when they bring Thorn, like they do bring in like Dredgen, Yor, and all that, and maybe we get a little bit more on that story in game.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys.
That'd be amazing.
that'd be cool.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, well,
There's
with
some-
last word, we got a lot of stuff from.
Yeah.
Like as you complete the quest, you get a bunch of the lore pages filled out, so that was really cool.
The Shady Drifter.
Yeah, I like that the drifter was kind of like you'd go back to the drifter and you actually have something to say, and what he said was actually somewhat interesting. It wasn't like cutscenes or anything, but you got a little bit of a story along with that quest, which I really appreciated.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was very interested in getting Last Word, so I didn't listen to him. So I'm going to do the quest again, just so I can listen to all the audio.
The audio is cool.
Yeah,
it's really neat.
It's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I'm on the last step of it, and it's I'm really excited about the next mission. So there's some things that I want to know about it.
Coming back to the Last Word though, and how it feels. One thing that I wasn't sure about, did we talk about, is how it felt from D1 to D2 in terms of the recoil on console? Like, is it actually amplified recoil?
Way more.
Oh, really? Way more.
It is.
Yeah.
More,
Yeah. So, like, I mean, on console, if you don't do anything, it's like I said, it's worse than aggressive ballistics D1. But like when you shoot it, I'm talking, you will point straight to the sky after you're done with the 8 shots. Like, it's bad. Whereas on PC, it's like half of that just out of base. So it's got a lot.
Do you think that's a bug?
It's a lot.
Do you think maybe...
I just think it's how, I mean, I obviously don't know, the inner workings, but it's got to be a code type deal, because we all know that there's those differences between console and PC. I mean, same thing with recoil, same thing with hand cannons. And if you were to take like a max stability hand cannon in Destiny 2 and look at a rifled barrel, like less stability hand cannon in Destiny 1, the Destiny 1 hand cannon still has less recoil. Like,
interesting.
So there's just more recoil in Destiny 2.
Right. Yeah. That's one of their bouncing moves.
I don't know if it was Cosmo or if it's just Bungie, but they tweeted out that they're going to be looking at that because they've heard a lot of people saying that the recoil on console is a little crazy. So they are going to look into that.
Well,
it is incredibly difficult to ADS and actually hit stuff.
Interesting. I mean, it seems like that would actually be a bug, because on PC, like, I have no issue with ADSing and hitting something with a mouse.
What's wrong with the gun having crazy recoil?
I don't think that there is anything wrong with it, Pope.
Unusable.
I think that, it's a hard thing to do, and if you can do well with it, you're going to do well with it, if that makes sense.
So in my mind, the gun is a hip-fire gun.
Yes.
And it has perks specifically designed to improve your accuracy and lethality when you are hip firing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see anything wrong with there being some downsides to ADSing. There's other guns for that. Otherwise, it's just going to be another Not Forgotten or Luna's Howl, where they just throw everything into a gun and say, okay, what else are people going to be using? Nothing. I mean, that's the conversation right now. And I want to bring it up because I think everybody's comparing a exotic to a legendary, Not Forgotten, or Luna's Howl. There's something, kind of wrong with that, I believe. I think that when they created those two hand cannons, they broke anything that they could have done with the creativeness of guns, or at least hand cannons, in Crucible, because they're the top of the mountain. I mean, it's kind of like what they didn't learn the problem that they had with Vault of Glass and making all the guns right out of there be the best ones. So what are they going to do? I mean, is anybody else using anything other than those two guns?
Yeah, like on console, there's a reason why you see, and if you look at the reports, I mean, it's trust. It's the 180s because they have that vertical recoil and you can see it a little bit better. And if you look at PC, like even 6 months ago, like when 10 paces and all that came out, nobody was using 10 paces on console because it's almost impossible. Especially with bygones. I mean, that 0.93 second bygones got a lot of ease of use, good range, whereas those hand cannons, you got aim assist, but you have bloom with a hand cannon. So if you don't have good range, it's not going to connect.
It's going to feel bad.
Meanwhile, on PC, like the Ace of Spades feels like a scout rifle.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
Ace of Spades feels amazing and is arguably
it's real good.
Arguably just as good as the Last Word, if not better. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm sorry. I went on a little tangent about the legendary Crucible pinnacles because I can't get them. I mean,
yes, you can.
I can't get them
with that attitude.
You absolutely can.
You can.
Like, you really can.
No. I can't. I don't have the time to put into.
You could do like
guns.
2 games a day and you'll get it.
It is entirely possible for you to get it, just not in a short-term type thing.
There.
It will take you probably an entire
I will
season.
send you my username and password. And
no,
I
said you.
Oh,
you
it'll be a
get it.
long thing that you can get done.
Look, guys, I appreciate that.
Let's move on. We got a
the-
lot to talk about today. You guys want to talk about the update a little bit? 2.1.4?
We need to talk about
Sure.
supers.
Yes.
Sure.
Let's talk about all
it's
that.
in the update, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right, so
Muy bien.
everything got tuned, including supers. We're going to start off with the Gunslinger. The Golden Gun Super got
Pretty
increased damage to bosses by 40% and includes 6-shooter and Celestial Nighthawk. So even if you're using Celestial Nighthawk, you get a 40% damage buff.
Yeah.
That's big.
It's
Make the
amazing.
boss real fast.
It does a lot of damage.
Yeah,
one
it
shot
did a lot of
lost
damage
sector
before.
bosses, right?
It does more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at a clip. I forget who it was, but all of them were using the Nighthawk
Cammy
on
case.
Callus. Might have been Cammy. All they were using it on Callus, and they just one-shot him. It took like a second and a half.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, deleted. It's good.
What do you think? Like
Absolutely.
across the board, it seems like most of the supers got a pretty good buff. What do you think's behind that?
Well, basically
What do you think
a
the
lot
design
of things that
philosophy behind
people were basically what people were using were all the new subclasses.
Mhm.
They weren't using a lot of the old ones because
Yeah.
So they just wanted to
Yeah.
give more reasons to use the old
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, and I mean
The
having
old ones
done
needed
a
to
lot
be
of
lifted
PvE
up.
and PvP,
Yes.
I've been seeing a lot of everything now. I've been
Mhm.
seeing Blade Barrage,
A
I've
lot
been
of
seeing
variety.
Golden Gun, I've been seeing Bottom Tree Striker, I've been seeing Top Tree. Like I've been seeing a lot of variety, which of course is probably because a lot of people are just trying everything out now.
What about the more
No,
ones?
meta still got to develop.
No, there's some
What?
significant buffs to the striker, Patrick,
Mhm.
for example.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm well
The
aware.
infinite smash.
Yeah,
Oh,
well aware.
it's nice. It's nice.
I give them a lot of props for doing that, man. Because if you look back at Destiny 1, we had a Night Stalker come up, right? And sooner or later, you saw everyone kind of in PvP, especially, were Night Stalkers, Stormcallers, and not really too many Golden Guns anymore. And with this, we saw the new subclasses, Blade Barrage. You see a lot of Blade Barrage, you see a lot of Spectral Blades. And this is like, hey, we're going to go back to the 3 original subclasses. We're going to buff them. And they did amazing, like, changes to them, right? Kind of reimagined, if you will.
The Golden Gun 6-shooter got a base damage increase from 275 to 300 per shot, and kills now return a bullet to the Golden Gun's magazine.
That's
Really
epic.
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
it's really cool.
Dude,
That's
tell me
really
how
good.
much you guys are just tearing up with that. I mean, because I can't hit the broadside of a barn with a golden gun, but
Yeah, I'm really bad with Golden Gun.
I mean,
Um,
Patrick's good with it. So how, like, yeah, you are.
Okay,
You're the
look,
original gunslinger, Patrick.
Look, I'm out of practice because I've been using Blade Barrage, so my aim with an
So
actual.
you've been
one-shot
cheating.
gun-
Now you actually have to play by the rules. Okay, go ahead.
Sure.
Remember
whatever
in
you-
Destiny
whatever
1
want
when
to
you
do.
just had to have somebody on the screen to hit them with a golden gun? Like the aim assist was so strong with the golden gun that they just had to be
it's
like
not like that
in
anymore.
the 16:9 screen
Yeah.
and you hit them.
Not as
You can
much.
shoot in between their armpits now and miss.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
annoying.
I shot between people's legs yesterday, and
You actually
and
have
I'm
to hit
using-
people?
And I'm using Top Tree, so it should have more aim
It's
assist.
Deadeye.
It
Yeah.
feels like it's got less aim assist than a regular hand cannon.
Yeah, no, that yep.
But it's a one
it's been really sweet to like. So
Yeah.
my main fear with a lot of the changes that they were doing is that it would make a lot of the classes feel kind of homogenized. Where, oh, you get every single class has the ability to do everything more or less. Like I was really worried that Arcstrider would lose its ad clear thing because now Golden Gun can just one shot stuff and you can just get infinite bullets basically. But after using it, not really afraid of that. My main worry is just because when everything becomes the same, you lose a lot of the identities, and that's kind of why I don't play World of Warcraft anymore, because all the classes feel exactly the same because everyone can do everything. That's something I hope just never happens in Destiny.
I hope not.
Line 'em up perk, doubled precision damage bonus per stack on the buff.
Notice that. Yep.
Yep.
Practice makes perfect perk. Stack limit increased from 3 to 5. Super regen modifier increased by 20%.
Definitely noticed that.
Yes.
3 to 5. Wow.
The
Yep.
number feels like it doesn't really matter because previously it just didn't do anything. Like it legitimately just didn't do anything.
Mhm.
So now that I can actually feel it, it's like, oh, cool. This works now. This does. I'm noticing that I'm regenerating my super way faster.
The Blade Barrage super. Impact damage decreased from 150 to 335. Explosion damage increased from 150 to 250. now deals self-damage, kind of like a Nova Bomb.
I've noticed people killing themselves trying to blade barrage me.
I have to I was testing it in Blindwell because you have like infinite blade barrages, and I had to be pretty deliberate about trying to kill myself with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're really low and then they super and like a knife happens to hit them or whatever, then they can die. But it's not like you're not gonna be blowing yourself up.
Yeah, if you're away from the explosions at all, like as long as you're not standing directly in them, you'll be fine.
Okay, but
So
I
it's
mean,
still possible.
theoretically, you're in the middle of a gunfight when you're trying to use this. So, they also fixed an issue in which blade barrage projectiles could track allies.
That's really funny.
That's annoying.
That's how strong it was.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have to like actually aim your kind of aim your super at somebody.
No, this is allies.
Allies.
Oh, okay, allies. Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that. I never played Hunter. I stopped playing Hunter at Forsaken. So
We know.
Night Stalker, the Mobius Quiver, tethered targets now have the full damage increase rather than needing to be tethered by multiple shadow shots. Additionally, the shadow shot damage bonus to tethered targets was increased.
this sounds good.
It does damage. Can't
Yeah.
confirm.
That's
It
good.
does do damage.
Did they make it so
Yeah,
it does boss damage now? Or does it still not affect bosses when they get tethered?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
you
sure.
mean the increase to all damage, incoming damage on the target?
Yeah, because
I know that was bugged.
It's really noticeable in Mayhem if you ever come across a hunter using that subclass, man.
Mhm.
You know, it locks down an entire section of the map.
It grabs
I
grabs
can see
people
that.
Further.
much better. Yeah, way
Yeah, they
better.
increased the tether radius by 20% and the
It's
tether
noticeable
lifetime.
for sure.
Mm.
Because usually when someone was using Quiver, they could shoot it right next to you and you could just walk past it. But now it actually locks people down. It does good damage.
The
Still,
duration
it doesn't
is
one
huge.
shot. It doesn't one shot in PvP, which
What?
is probably going to make people not use it
Yeah.
because you're in the air still for a real long time, shooting off all of those things.
and it's got travel
But you
time.
can really lock down like an area with it.
Yeah, you can. It does good damage to bosses.
I'm honestly like I don't even play Hunter, and I'm a little upset that it doesn't kill.
Yeah, you have to
I-
two-shot.
You got a 2-shot with it?
Yeah, you have to two-shot, and I mean, someone immediately said, remember the armor buff that Spectral Blade's got? Like, why not put that into him? But what's really cool about that sub is, I mean, it extends further, so you shoot that down, you can run around and use your weapon, right? So you throw it down, get a couple shots, get the kill, run around, then tether the next area or the next group of enemies and start going around that way. It's not really good at just firing the bow at everyone.
Continuously.
Right. I guess the
Yeah.
point behind it is that it's more of a defensive super as opposed to an aggressive super or offensive super
Correct.
in a way.
Still feel
I'd say
like
so.
it should one shot because it's a super.
Well, also because it has travel time. Like it's not like a hit scan suddenly like boom.
Projectile, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes time to fire too.
Yeah, you have to
Like, it's not
activate
like-
it, then it has to
where you just,
travel.
like,
Didn't they
Doesn't
up
it- doesn't-
the animation?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doesn't a Titan's hammer
Yes.
kill in one hit?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm just thinking of its equivalents, right?
There is none. There's no super that doesn't.
Yeah,
kill
but
one.
Titans,
Well,
a Titan's hammer and a golden gun have advantages. They don't have the advantage of being able to lock down an area like the quiver does.
True. And to Patrick's earlier point, if we start homogenizing all the classes, then what's the point, right? So maybe the hunter's quiver.
I see what you're trying to do there, and you're wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry, Patrick.
I don't know.
Was I
I hear
putting you
you
in the
about
corner?
I hear you about wanting it to one shot, but like, how good do you want this thing to be?
Maybe
I
a
want it to
precision
one
shot?
Well, the thing is, if you do go into a group, like they can shoot you, get you almost dead by the time you're like about to hit the ground.
Yeah.
And if you get to take out one of them with the actual super, you might have a much bigger chance of actually being able to kill all of them.
Yeah. If you jump up and activate your bow and there's 3 people looking
dead.
at you, you're dead. And if it might hit one of them, but it's not going to kill them with that.
Yeah.
What I
And then
was-
they're like,
what I was-
I
"I'm
don't
so
use
dead."
quiver, but when I use the regular Night Stalker arrow, I don't normally shoot it right at people. I try and like set traps. Like I'll shoot it above a door when I expect people to be running through.
I think that's
And then
the way it's intended.
Shoot them. Yeah, like I don't know if you make this thing a one shot. Like
So
then give them
why would you
more
use a
armor
golden
when
gun, for
using
instance?
Golden
the
gun's
super.
immediate.
Yeah.
It's like pop.
Like the Spectral Blades armor.
Yeah,
Armor would be good.
but if you could have a one-shot kill plus if you miss, you lock down the area with the arrow. I don't know.
I always thought that the quiver should be something similar to drawing a bow and arrow. That the longer you hold for quiver, the longer you hold it. If you were to hold it for 1002 as a feel thing, it would gain more power
So like
and
no
be able
more.
to one shot. And then if you hit, you could gain more bows and more lockdown zones if you just kind of flared it out.
That's interesting, Pope. Like, because you've already got that mechanic built into the game for the other bows, right? Whereas you
Right.
can draw it back. What if you drew it back and you could one shot, but you lost the ability to tether if you did that?
Well, or you use more of your health as you're holding it back. It's drawing your energy.
Yeah,
not your
yeah,
health,
that
but
sounds
your
like a
super energy.
That sounds bad for a super.
Well, so I want a risk reward though, because like I feel like if you let it one shot kill, you have like the best of everything. With the
Think
one
about
super.
it.
It has a really big travel time. There's not a lot of aim assist. It's very easy to avoid when seeing it come towards you. Yes, there is a lockdown mechanic, but since it is quiver and has a smaller radius, it's very easy to avoid once it's actually triggered. You can kill the actual tether once it's on the ground. I don't know. To me, there's a lot of disadvantages to using that super, and not a lot of upsides.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think yeah. For that small section that you have, you can be aggressive with it. If you do seek some, an enemy out, shoot it on the ground. I think it's heart of the pack, and not the orb one, but the other one. You do get buffs to you and nearby allies. You get like handling and reload. So like you can be aggressive with it. Just go target to target that way and seek them out.
Okay.
But
it sounds like if it one shots, it's going to be a hammer that also tethers.
No, not at all. Hammer, you're like,
Why not?
boom, you're throwing, and then you're automatically moving.
The bow is
you are in the air,
See, the
and
hammer-
you're like, come shoot me. I'm shooting a bow right now.
That's where I disagree. Oh, so to get as a Titan, you're often in the air. You're throwing your hammers down, and one of the things that the hammers does do is one of the perks on it is if you hit, and then the secondary explosions come out and hit other people around them. I think there's a case to be made that tether could be made stronger. That quiver.
Yeah. Or increase the armor.
One shot.
The Spectral Blade super bonus damage resistance while in stealth decreased from 15 to 5%. While in Spectral Blades and in stealth, total damage resistance is 62%. Total super duration while invisible decreased by 3.67 seconds.
I haven't used it since the thing.
I haven't used it either.
it was a little out of hand, I think.
It was a lot out of hand.
So I think it's a very good move on their part.
I think it's fine.
Between that and the freaking the Nova Warlock, that was the two main reasons why I didn't touch.
That thing got
Mad
butchered.
about that. We'll get there.
that thing, I think I put.
I didn't even go into PvP because of those two supers. I'm so glad they nerfed the crap out of them.
Yeah, Spectral Blades hasn't been nerfed that bad. It's still very, very.
You can
good.
still use it, and it's still very good.
I'm just trying to trigger people. That's all. I want the
Arc
section.
Staff
Rustle
super.
a few jimmies.
Arc Staff super, the heavy ranged and slam attack damage increased from 220 to 300, and the heavy palm blast attack damage increased from 400 to 700.
Whoa,
It's noticeable.
that's huge.
It's
I-
Yeah.
So now when I pop if I hear like a striker titan pop his super, and I will pop mine and just do the slam right on top of him, he's gonna die. Like you can actually take out supers so much easier with the arc staff now. It's very, very nice.
Arc Staff is very, very, very strong. That attack that you do, the
light heavy.
Slam.
there's one that extends a wave of
The wave is
that
just
can-
heavy.
but that can one shot me out of a Titan bubble.
Just about
Well,
like,
also,
you don't
when you're
really
playing-
gain a lot. You can die in there very easily. Anyway,
But I mean, it's going through my bubble. It's killing me in there, and I just think that that's pretty lame. But the bubble is one of those.
That's
where-
pretty strong.
That is really
Oh,
strong.
I know. As a Titan, I don't want it to be killing me.
No,
I
no,
actually-
I imagine you wouldn't.
I haven't used it in PvE, but with Middle Tree, I bet that does a ton of damage now after you block.
Yes.
And then use your attacks, heavy attacks. I bet that is a ton.
I'm away the current user, or like that middle tree. What's cool about that is Whirlwind Guard, and I use it like exclusively when I'm Arc Strider. So what's cool about that is you get 3 times Arc Staff damage, and before the update, if someone hit you and you got that buff, you could parry someone, and they let's like say a Sentinel Shield. You'll kill them no matter what, and you kill them with a light attack. So just an RB. You don't need anything special. It's a lot of damage. It's like 700 or 600 damage.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Apparently, I'm making stuff up. The hunter has to be inside the bubble, according to Fallout, who's correcting us in the chat.
Thanks, Fallout. I love it when you correct.
Hey, Fallout.
Please keep doing it.
He comes
I've been
in
told
here and he
he's
just
not to be trusted.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've watched his videos. They're never
filthy
accurate.
warlock.
He is. He talks mad
right.
crap.
Sounds
If you
legit.
listen to his video about the last word. He talks mad crap about every other class.
Unbelievable.
The lethal current perk gets bonus hit damage, has been increased from 100 to 130. The Raiden Flex exotic armor damage bonus decrease from 20% to 13.5%.
Probably just because of the buff to the damage.
Yeah, that probably makes sense, right?
Because if you have the flux and you get that ×4, what is it? I forget what the perk is called on it. Anyway, ×4. Yeah, you get that paired with the Whirlwind Guard buff on the Arc Strider. Like you're doing like 200,000 damage on a palm strike. It was strong.
Damn.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sunbreaker. Sunspots damage increase from 25 to 50 per tick, so doubled. Sun Warrior perk buff now increases all damage output from the Sunbreaker by 20% in PvP and 25% in PvE.
I love
and
it.
The buff duration has been increased from 3 to 5 seconds.
Love it. I love all of that.
Yeah.
The Burning Maul super, the spin melee attack damage increased from 65 to 80 per hit.
That needed to happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
Slam
class I
detonation
love.
radius increased from 5 to 6 meters and improved slam attack projectile tracking. That
That's
Burning
good.
Maul super, I was so excited for that because it looked like it was so much fun and it was so
And the
weak.
sound. Dung.
Yeah.
It was everything cool except for what it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything
If he
was
has
cool until you
mobility,
try to kill something.
Scary.
What's that?
If he had some mobility, he'd be scary. If he was running around like the Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sentinel Titan, the Sentinel Shield Super, final melee combo hit damage increased from 300 to 390, and damage to PvE combatants increased by 17%.
That's going to be a monster.
Feels like to have parity with Arc Strider almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Striker Fist of Havoc, heavy slam attack, R2, RT, based damage decreased from 325 to 275. Damage to base, elite, and mini-boss combatants increased by 7%. Damage to bosses increased by 23%. And damage to vehicles increased by 60%.
It's weird that they specified vehicles.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. When are you ever going to use that?
Well, tanks, right?
Maybe something's coming.
guess.
Maybe something's a coming. You don't know.
Okay. There are
The drifters'
those
vehicles.
glimmer drills.
Mm.
Terminal Velocity perk changed the way bonus damage from this perk is granted, added a third threshold tier based on how long you are in the air before impact. Arc damage hits per tier increased from 3 to 4. Tier 1 equals 4 hits, Tier 2 equals 8 hits, and Tier 3 equals 12 hits.
Briar, I just figured it out. I know what happened, Watts.
Hmm?
See, Josh Hamrick is trying to make Destiny become Halo Reach and bring in armor lock secretly. So you buff the Titans.
Good God.
Yes, this is what the next thing you know, there's going to be armor lock. The Titan Striker is going to be able to like take out vehicles.
You're gonna be
by
able to
just
swap
standing
out your
there.
wall and just like change it for
Yes.
armor lock instead.
And you'll just be like this. And then
That-
the vehicle will run into you and blow up.
That hive skiff is going to come by. You're going to jump off a building right onto
Done.
it.
Yeah.
I
Done.
figured it out. He's secretly sorry. I just realized what he's trying to
Code
do.
to the Juggernaut, the Fist of Havoc shoulder charge energy cost was reduced by 83%.
That's a
Strong.
lot.
Yeah, that is. So you're going to be able to use that a lot more.
Mhm.
Trample
is
perk
really
can
nice.
now trigger the energy return every 0.5 seconds up from 1 second.
lasts a very long time now because of that.
Is the clips that are coming from that, you can get into their into somebody's spawn, and you're getting to do things that only hunters and warlocks got to do before.
No, you could do it as a defender if you were good.
No, this is
unique.
unique.
If you were good,
for me,
that's why I
for
never
me,
did it.
For me, I get to get into their spawn now. It's really nice.
I think I saw someone clear an entire forge in their super.
The Voidwalker, the Cataclysm Nova Bomb, the initial detonation damage increased from 900 to 1500.
That's a big jump.
That is a big jump. Detonation radius was increased from 8 to 10 meters. Seeker projectile detonation damage increased from 205 to 300. They improved the Seeker projectile turning radius and homing to make it more consistent to use against bosses and single targets. And they fixed an issue where Seeker projectiles could be prematurely detonated.
And single targets, eh? Are they trying to make people solo super?
I don't know, man. That sounds like the Cataclysm Nova Bomb is way more powerful, and that thing was already pretty powerful.
More people are using it in Crucible. It's been really nice to see Nova Bomb again.
Mm-hmm. Well, they basically have to because of. Go ahead and read the next section about Nova Warp.
Well, we're not there yet. The Vortex Nova Bomb, the initial detonation damage was increased from 900 to 1200, and the linger volume damage increased from 10 to 23 per tick. So it doesn't do as much initial damage, but the ticks do more than double the amount of damage they used to.
It's going to be nasty.
Yeah, so what's odd about that, I mean, for Voidwalker, especially the Slova Bomb, I mean, it's weird that it'll track, and it does way more damage. I've always been a dire Ahamkara. It's the one that gives you super energy back, kind of like Obsidian Mine. I've always been that in PvE. But like, you have something that tracks that does huge damage now, compared to something that is thrown out and does less damage, and you could completely miss your enemy if they move. Like, it's kind of weird, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of just throw it out there, do huge damage, or maybe miss, and you would have done less damage, period.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of reason to be using the regular Nova Bomb anymore.
Speed of the attack, maybe.
Speed.
Isn't the regular Nova Bomb the one that also has the Devour subclass in it?
Devour.
Oh, right. Yep, that's why I'm using it.
The top one's Bloom.
The Nova Warp Super, slightly slowed movement while charging. Charging costs more energy. The initial charge cost each time you trigger your super is increased by 60%. Sustained drain cost holding increased by 60%. Duration decreased by 6.8 seconds. Decreased super damage resistance from 56 to 54%. Damage against guardians decreased by 27%.
It's like I wrote it myself.
Oh my god, that is a lot. I wonder why.
That's brutal.
I wonder why they just hit it from all sides.
Dude, I feel like because like the other warlock subclasses just probably weren't getting used. Like everyone was probably using that, so we're like, okay, let's put this thing in the ground and then we'll tune it back up, like so people will actually
like in 5 months.
Yeah,
yeah, they hit this thing with a stick that might have been a little too heavy.
They hit it with the ugly stick for sure.
For real.
Yeah, it sounds
It still has one of the best grenades and melee in the game, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. This nerf to the super itself. So,
that's a good point. Actually,
I have enough salt in my veins to not really give a shit about what the nerf right now, because of just all of that. But I do understand I was reading it and I heard like this collective sigh of pain and anguish of all the warlocks.
I don't know, man. I heard a bunch of people saying that was one of my favorite classes, and now it's kind of wrecked. I've been there, you know, like I used to really like the Golden Gun, and they fucked that thing to death.
They did.
And I really like the Sunbreaker Titan, and they did the same to that. You know, like I've been in that spot for sure.
It hurts.
It does hurt. The Dawn Blade, the Daybreak Super, increased damage against minor, major, and mini boss combatants by 43%. And increased duration by 3 seconds.
Can I ask something before we go on, Briar? Like, do you guys think that it needed to get that hard hit? Like,
not that hard.
Not that hard.
Yeah, that was pretty aggressive, honestly. As much as I disapprove of warlocks,
I just think they needed to make it to where if you wanted to hit people from further away, you had to hold it down longer. If you wanted to take people out of their super, you hold it down for longer. Because the way that it was is you could just hold it, explode, and everyone would just die.
Yes.
There was no really the mechanic that they built into the super. You didn't really have a reason to hold it for longer.
Mhm.
And it lasted
I
what
definitely
seemed
don't
like
think they
forever.
needed that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
didn't
it
need
did
to do
last
all
forever.
that. Yeah, they didn't need to do
See, on top of
the
that,
damage and the blast and the CS. Too much.
on top of that, there's really no reason to ever use that like in PvE.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
the
PvP
thing.
super.
That's the thing that really bothers me.
That's
is
interesting.
that people don't use it in PvE now, and it was really good for ad clear.
It was great for ad
Yeah.
clear. Yeah. Now it's like, well,
no, you're gonna use Stormcaller. You're gonna use Stormcaller or
Slova,
Dawnblade.
Stormcaller. Yeah.
Yep.
You can definitely feel the extra 43% of damage with the Daybreak super. Honestly, that's a lot. The Storm Trance super, they increased chain lightning maximum target count by 1.
Mhm.
And then weapon tuning. Auto rifles increased base damage on rapid fire by 9%, on high impact by 5%, and adaptive by 6%. Pretty much across the board buff on auto rifles. Scout rifles, lightweight got a 5% buff, rapid fire got 6%, and they increased all scout rifle PvE damage by 10%.
Do you want to talk to us about scout rifles, Briar, Mr. Scout Rifle Expert?
yeah. How about that?
I hear you main scout rifles now.
Yeah, that's
Look,
what I
it'd been a while since I had entered the Crucible. I needed to get some work done real quick.
What are your
and,
favorites, Briar?
Yeah,
What around the old Mida multi-tool.
Some standouts?
There you go.
Mida? Yeah.
Got my quest done, okay? I got my shit done.
What about when it was done? Did you keep using them after
No.
that?
So what's new about scouts?
I mean, they're good now. They're good. In fact, what's that rapid fire one?
Scorpion.
It's
Black
Scorpion.
Vice.
Yeah, that thing's real good.
That thing is nasty.
Yeah.
I saw people
But the
using
Mido
it.
was doing some absolute work in the Crucible. I mean, it's the same old Mido as always, but it just kills super fast now.
Yeah, so what they did with that, before it did, I believe, 51 and then 30. So you had to hit all 4 headshots, and they made it to where the ECUs is a little bit easier. You can do 3 headshots at 56 and then a body shot. So
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
that's what they did to it, really. That's the change to note for that.
That
And
is
the
really
nice
good.
thing about scout rifles is you could stay like well back on the the edge of the map, hiding behind rocks, just like peeking out, pop, 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 get that kill, get your health back.
Like a coward, Briar?
Look, I wouldn't go so far as to use language like that, but now that you mention it.
It's tactfully waiting.
Oh man.
The Suros is really good.
There are definitely some guns that have been
Yeah, the Soros
made
is
hot
good.
by
Okay,
this.
I got a
Yeah.
question then. I haven't used Black Scorpion in a long time, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
wouldn't it feel similar or fill similar roles with the last word, but have more range with how fast it fires?
Time to kill isn't is the same, right?
No, it's the time to kill is obviously not going to be the same, but they're like
Right.
they're ballpark, aren't they?
I don't know the numbers.
With what?
Black Scorpion in the last word, because Black Scorpion is obviously going to have more range, just inherently, and less recoil.
If I remember right, it's very close. Like, really, when we're talking about the 0.5 to 0.8 range of time to kills, you can't really feel the difference that much. So yeah, like it is still very good. You can use it. However, if you're like, you want to use a sniper, you're probably not gonna want to use that. You probably want to use last word, so you have something close range.
True, but I'm just thinking, like, if you have almost like say 75% of what you get out of the last word in a legendary weapon like that with more range, and let's say you put a hipfire mod in there, so you have more hipfire accuracy.
What if you use both
Both.
together? Then you got the range last word and the close last
Dual
word.
wield.
It's true.
What if you
And
fan
then
fire
you
the Black
don't-
Scorpion on top of the last word?
It doesn't work like that, but at least you won't drop
You could
special ammo.
try.
You won't drop special ammo, so people can't use
Even better. I'm going to try that out.
starve people.
I wonder why people are talking about Black Scorpion and not like Frostmire's Hex.
Well, because Black Scorpion, people know what that is, and
It's year one weapon. You can buy it out of your inventory. If you had it already,
What's
Yeah,
the
I have no
hat? Is
idea
that
what
an
it is.
auto rifle?
No, the scout rifle.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't know about it.
What? I don't know
It's
about
the
that.
Iron Banner. It's the Iron Banner scout rifle. Very similar
Yeah,
to Black Scorpion. It's the same.
Oh, is it the
fire
same
rate,
archetype?
That was from
But the
year
perk-
1, Destiny 1, right?
But the perk on it is is Dragonfly instead of whatever Black Scorpion is.
Dynamic sway reduction, I think.
I think
Looking
you're
at it
right.
now. It's moving target
Yeah, moving target's way better. That's why.
than Dragonfly. Okay.
Yes.
It makes a lot
target is
more
very
weapons
good.
viable. Like you can go all the way back to half Dan, like the high impact. So like that thing does, I think,
It's a good thing I didn't
47
delete
or
them all,
48 with kill clip.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sniper rifles, they increase the base damage of rapid fire sniper rifles by 8%. You can now 2-shot to the body to defeat other guardians in PvP. I've actually seen a lot of this in the brief. I've played, a total of maybe 4 hours of PvP, in the last few days, but I've seen a lot more sniper rifles.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Part of that's
I
because
think
the
that's
last word is there. Part of that is because you can 2-shot people, I feel like. That is a pretty quick time to kill, a 2-shot body shot with a sniper rifle.
I've been killed by many rapid frame snipers now. It's
Yeah.
I don't know, it's been really cool to watch the kill feed over the past couple days. It's like this when every sandbox patch kind of hits, people start trying out new stuff.
It's good.
I
Which
have
is
a
why we need
sniper rifle. I can't
more.
remember the name.
Yes.
As soon as it settles a little bit, having a little bit of settling is fine. Having people play with what's good for a little bit is fine, but then mix it up
Going-
again. Then people are out there
Hunt for the good
experimenting.
rolls and hunt for the good stuff, and then give them
It's
some
so
time.
good.
Every season, we should be getting a fresh new sandbox.
Is that what it is? Every 3 months, you think?
I think
think
every
we
3
should
months
get-
is perfect.
I think every
That's what I would
season,
want.
they every vendor, right, Tefty, every vendor's what weapons they have all get shifted, right? At the very least, they get different roles, and then you start getting all these others. You get, I don't know, the whole sandbox needs to change. I think every 3 months.
Kind of like that Nightshade when we first got into this
Mm-hmm.
DLC, right? So you did that,
Yeah.
you did the 30 or whatever bounties turn in. Like that'd be cool every week. A random weapon.
Interesting. Yeah. That gets introduced then.
There
That can
is-
be random rolls.
There is one thing I wanted to talk about these patch notes that was really cool. Numbers. They're
Numbers.
everywhere.
Yeah, I like
There are
numbers,
lots
man.
of
This is really good.
numbers.
This was really cool because now when I saw the difference of like one of the changes, like, whoa, I want to go try that. Or, oh my God, now I don't have to worry about that. Or something like that. Like seeing numbers is just such a good thing. And it's not like well, I wonder how much slightly less is. I wonder how much slightly more is. Like, that doesn't get me excited. Numbers get you excited because you see fucking numbers. You know what that means.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Thank you for numbers.
Thank you. Buddy,
Like-
for
Well,
numbers.
there's something more than just the numbers, though. There's the numbers plus developer commentary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the two of those together, like for you, you can geek out over the numbers and go, salivate over like numbers. And to me, they're not. That really isn't going to matter all that much to me, too much. But with the player, with the what really is impactful is the developer commentary.
They're both really good.
Grenade launchers,
just-
they
it
tweak
maybe
grenade
speaks to a
launcher
different-
projectiles to feel more consistent on direct hits. Proximity grenades can no longer impact directly. It prevents special ammo grenade launchers from one-shotting with the perk active. Increased ammo reserve size of special ammo grenade launchers. Increased initial spawn ammo in PvE for special ammo grenade launchers. Bows made the effect of draw time from bowstring
Like
perks
it.
more noticeable. High tension string, flexible string, elastic string, polymer string. The accuracy stat from high tension string was increased from 10 to 15 to better compensate for the slower draw time. And there's some issues with the tooltip not being accurate.
I like that. I like that change to bows. It got some more nuance to them. I don't like that. To me, when I'm going through and I'm checking a weapon, those bores, the barrels, don't really. I don't know. When I look at them, I don't know which one to put on, and I don't know how. I don't feel like I can really feel a difference between them all that much. I don't think it really.
Because for the most part, you can't really feel a difference. The only time you can is when like you get range increases.
Yeah, accuracy
Or-
stat. It's
yeah.
important.
Yeah. So for me, hearing you guys talk about that is really valuable. But I feel like if I can feel something in those bows, the change is something I could feel, and it's made them more nuanced and more fun to use.
Agreed.
Bows are super fun to use. I just
They
never
are.
use them. Like
They're so much fun.
they're fun to use in PvP, and then you know what? Now that with the last word, it might be more fun.
I was using bow last word a lot, and
Yeah,
It's
I
really
could
fun.
see that being a nice combo actually.
It's
But in
very fun to load up.
PvE, like I'll use them almost like I use the last word in PvE, just for shits and giggles.
Now there's
You
some
take that
there's
back,
some
Brian.
dragonfly. No, no, I feel like they have a place in PvE, but you
What
really
is
is
what's that place?
when I'm using the exotic bows. I'm sorry, I wish I had better like memory recall of the exact names
Trinity
of things.
Ghoul.
There's some the Trinity Ghoul, like the way that you play the exotic bows, I think are more applicable to PvE. The legendary ones there's not enough of a nuance to them, I think.
I just wish Trinity Ghoul was more like consistent feeling instead of
You
Catching
have
all
to
time
ADS with it.
is what
You
keeps
have
a lot
to
of people
ADS.
away.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like if it always, let's say on kill, always gave you that the Thunderbolt arrow, then it'd be amazing.
Mhm.
You can do cool stuff with that arrow, that lightning rod. It's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, when it hits, it's really fun.
Yeah, it is cool.
But it feels so
Mhm.
inconsistent at times.
The legendary Legend of Acreus is getting a buff, range increase of 0.5 meters, and a PvE damage increase of 50%.
That's the big
significant.
It's really good.
Bring it back.
We
Yeah.
used it in the raid yesterday.
Yeah.
Scourge of the Past, and the big servitors
Mhm.
in the final
Mhm.
melting point. One of those Acreus one shots it.
Wow.
Whoa.
Jesus.
That was
That's a lot of
amazing.
damage.
That's cool.
That's good.
Acreus, when it hits something, it's probably dead. It's real
That's
good.
awesome. Oh, that's good. Great, man, because I haven't used that gun since Forsaken came out, really.
Mhm.
That's nice
What's
to know.
the what was the bonus to it when you got the catalyst for it?
It's like
More
more
ammo.
ammo.
More ammo.
Yeah,
right?
6
More
in the
ammo,
mag
right.
instead of 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Telesto reduced base damage of each bolt by 19%. They increased optic stat from 15 to 20 to be comparable with other fusion rifles with scopes. And PvE damage was increased by 30%.
Nice.
Anybody tried the Telesto in PvP since this?
Yeah, I had a bunch of clanmates that were using it, and they were like, "It's
Yeah?
still fine." Yeah,
Not stupid
I
though.
heard it's still fine.
it was never stupid.
It was stupid.
The range though?
wasn't.
At times it like had insane range.
It's fine.
It's not fine.
That's okay to have like cross map ability with Telesto.
Yeah.
Just gotta get good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid argument there,
I'm gonna-
Pat. Thanks for your input.
I'm gonna hit a hot disagree on that one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Telesto, one of the problems that I see when you got a gun like that is that everybody starts to use it, right? And I think that that's one of the indicators of it being too hot. When nobody is using variety.
Everyone wasn't using it.
There was come on, Patrick. There was when you got into sweaty games, there was a lot of people that were using the Telesto.
No,
I saw a good amount on console.
it must be a console thing.
Because
Yeah.
on console it is everywhere.
Yeah.
All right,
It was in a lot of places.
all right. Because on PC, nah, it wasn't really.
You get like 4 or 5 people and they'll start spraying walls, and the projectiles on the ground. Like I notice it now. They don't usually kill you, but you just get close to one of those things, you'll just disintegrate. So
Yeah,
that's good.
The damage of them was too high. You would just be, and then just one of those barbs would kill you. It felt like, but I know that's not what it would be.
Trace rifles now gain additional ammo when picking up special ammo. Reduced damage output of Wave Splitter against Guardians. Reduced by 19% on medium damage mode and reduced by 27% on high damage mode. Adjustments were made to keep the damage output the same in PvE activity.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, right?
Wouldn't know either.
Xbox guy.
What's the wave splitter again?
Yeah, seriously.
Trace rifle.
I haven't tried it since the update.
Exotic armor.
It
Tuned
was really
energy
good, man.
values. I'm sorry.
It's made the other trace rifles viable now and fun. I like using them. They're a lot of fun in PvE for going through mobs. It just
I really like them in PvP. I just haven't had a chance to use it since the patch.
yeah. No, it's still it just made the other ones more viable and brought them in line. They feel good. You can switch between them depending on your what elemental damage you want to do.
Yeah, if I get more ammo for them in the Crucible, great.
How much do you want to bet we're not going to see Wave Splitter unlocked on PC for another year?
It'll come out when Destiny 3 comes out. No, a month after.
That's what I'm
Destiny
thinking,
3
actually.
comes out.
Yeah.
There you
Go
go.
get your Wave Splitter. D3's been out for
I
a
went
month and a
back
half.
to get Zen Meteor, man.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Because what was it? The 3 shots and last shots. The huge explosion shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed to get some of that in my life, man.
What-
Everybody was playing. I
It
just
was
went back.
Well, what else?
I think the
what else
first
was on
time
there?
I actually procced that in PvP, I posted a video of just that. Dynamite with a laser beam.
It's cool. It's
That-
so
Hey,
totally
it is cool.
What else was missing when D2 came out that they didn't put on until a month and a half on Xbox? Was Zen Meteor,
Jade Rabbit.
Jade Rabbit,
Jade
and the
right,
Hawkmoon.
was Hawkmoon also?
Hawkmoon came in year
No,
2.
Hawkmoon came with Taken King.
Yeah,
Hawkmoon and Monte
Are you talking
Carlo
about like
came with Taken King.
the big gap?
yeah. The 2-year gap where they were like, it's
The-
coming.
It was Jade Rabbit and Zen Meteor. I think those were the only two.
I think
Oh.
those were it too.
Wasn't it a?
I can't remember any.
It was a.
Probably it was an armor set. There was an armor set as well.
Yeah. There. Yep. Interesting. I hope we don't see that again. Honestly, like.
Yeah.
I also hope that they just don't do those deals anymore now that they're fully controlling their publishing.
It's so brutal.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good for the
Yeah.
gamer, man.
No, not at all.
I don't even mind the weapons as much as I mind like the strikes and the PvP maps.
Just,
Although
man, the
the
PS4
PvP
strike
maps.
is so good.
That's what I've heard.
Like
Yeah.
I think that's actually my favorite strike.
It's fun.
Like the design of the boss, like she just looks awesome. The mechanic is cool. Like I just love that strike so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day we won't have that.
Or they just do it as a month instead of a whole year because a year is just like
A year is crazy.
people like move on to different games in like a few months.
It's been nerfed and buffed
Yeah.
4 times already.
Exactly.
I'm really hoping that was an Activision thing
I hope so.
and it's just done.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
But-
We'll find out, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
I stand by it. They're going to open up a cross save. We're going to be killing it. We're going to be playing together anytime.
You
now.
think? Wow.
Won't that be awesome?
That would be
Yes.
so cool.
I believe it's a priority of theirs.
There's some small tweaks to exotic armor. They tune the shards of Galliner to accompany changes to the Blade Barrage Super. They reduce maximum energy return from 90% to 75% of the total super. Now
Definitely
only
noticed
returns
that.
energy on the knife impacts. And they reduce energy on Gwison Vest from 10 to 7% of the total super.
You can't really notice the change with Gwison Vest from what I can tell, but the shards one felt very noticeable. Like basically it used to be you could throw it in a pack of enemies and you'd get a bunch back, but now it's like you have to impact with the knives. Like the knives have to hit something, not just explode on it. So you have to be very kind of delicate with where you're throwing them. You have to make sure it will land on targets, not just around them.
You have to move the second volley too. You have to do
Mhm.
that now even more. So
There were a couple of things in the weekly update. Do you guys want to check that out real quick?
Yeah, we could talk about the interesting stuff in there.
Mhm.
There was stuff.
Season 6 changes that are coming. They're returning to the Destiny 2 launch system for gaining clan experience. Go play activities in the game and you'll earn clan XP and level up your clan.
That's I
Daily
like that
clan
better.
bounties are no longer needed and are being
Good.
removed from the game. There will be 3 weekly bounties that require playing with your clanmates to complete.
And those
That's
will also
cool.
give clan XP, right?
because I mean some are tied to powerful gear.
Mhm.
So it'd be good that they're keeping some of those bounties for the. Yeah, I like that.
There'll always be one PvE raid and PvP weekly bounty from Hawthorne.
Cool.
Also, as your clan levels its banner, the rewards you receive from these bounties will grow. At rank 3, you earn mod components when completing a weekly bounty. At rank 4, you earn enhancement cores when completing a weekly bounty. And at rank 6, your clan will unlock a 4th weekly bounty.
That's fantastic.
It's gonna be a nice way to get some mods and cores.
Yeah, and it kind of like it motivates you to like level up your clan. If you want enhancement cores, then you definitely want to get your clan up to rank 4 as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can we talk about the Whisper quest? That I don't know.
Yeah, there's one more thing.
It's all the time now, right?
Oh, catalysts. Crucible and Strike catalysts have an increased drop rate when playing with clanmates. For those of you who haven't found all of the available catalysts, you have a better chance to find the ones you're missing. So if you're missing any catalysts, they're going to be easier to get if you're playing with your clanmates.
And this is coming in Season of the Drifter. This is not
Season of the Drifter.
Okay.
That's correct. Season 6.
You think they're going to start finally doing something with the faction rally catalysts? Because there's a lot of people out there who like have jumped in and
probably
not gotten anything with Sun, or they see Sunshot and Graviton have those. It's sweet business, but it's sweet business. Like that's weird that that's just hanging out there.
I have a feeling that they're retuning it, and we're gonna see it come back. Like there's that whole side of the tower that's not even being used.
Think
I think
the
we're
Drifter?
gonna be, not the Drifter.
No.
Over by
the hangar
where Cade 60s hang out.
Yeah.
But do you think that's coming like in Season of the Drifter?
Right. No, I think I don't know actually. I feel like they've been.
Think about it like this. At that point,
we haven't seen factions for a bit.
It'll be 6 months by the time Season of the Drifter hits. So we've had no factions then, and if they continue with no factions, then that's like 9 months. And if let's say you jumped into the game at Forsaken, there's like things that you just, you might hear about and be like, oh, I'd like to use the Sunshot with make orbs. That'd be nice. Actually, I want, that's the thing. My last word, I want to be able to make orbs with that. I want a catalyst.
I agree.
We need catalysts.
Yeah,
for all
I want
things.
catalysts, man.
Yeah.
I at least want all exotics to be able to make orbs.
Yeah.
Catalysts are fun. Making
I feel
orbs.
like they just dropped
Being
the
that you made
catalyst
an orb.
idea for the exotics, right? It's like we haven't heard anything about new
I thought
catalysts.
catalyst was a really cool idea.
I did too.
I think their plan for catalysts is to have them be like basically a reward, a chase for like middle of the road content, or when like they know content isn't going to be as available. At least that's what it feels like, because we got catalyst implemented during Warmind, which was like basically saying, hey, here's a grind for you guys to go do amongst a bunch of other things that were like,
Actually, wasn't
experimenting with.
Yeah, that's basically Warmind, but yeah, like it was a little bit before.
It was added with Warmind, I remember.
Pretty sure there's a few, like there was like a month before we were chasing it. Then we got Warmind.
Whatever, they got added around Warmind.
Sure.
So like right now, if they added them, we already have a shit ton of things to chase. I feel like they're gonna just save them for annual pass type content. So be like, hey, these are implemented. Go chase them now, and just kind of sprinkle them about.
Apparently, they talk more about in the TWAB. I didn't read the TWAB. My bad.
I mean, the Jade Rabbit catalyst is amazing, right? So some of those catalysts really, really good.
Yeah.
The Whisper catalyst makes the gun really, really good.
Whisper catalyst is nutty.
And so the Whisper is now available for those people who still haven't gotten it. It's available every day now from any Lost Oasis public event. So that's huge for those people who haven't been able to get it.
Is it now or starting in season 6?
No, now.
Now.
Okay.
Yep.
Really
cool.
And it's good though, because like, I mean, I'm still fighting my way through the catalyst of that. So,
we had
There's
a lot
of
to
people
talk
who
about.
haven't
Do you guys
done
want to bust through some Twitter questions real
Hold
fast?
up, Briar. Was there anything else in that TWAB that talks about when these catalysts are coming? Because a lot of people in chat were saying it's actually in the TWAB of the thing that I literally just brought up.
Yes. Let me find it again.
For those of you who haven't found all the, he read
For
that.
those of you who haven't found all the available catalysts, you'll have a better chance to find the ones you're missing. If you already have them,
Wow, it's almost like I read this word for word.
He did.
Sorry.
He actually read that.
My bad. It's just I thought people were saying that the ones that you can't get from faction rallies were mentioned.
Well, if you already have them, we'll plan to release a few more from our year 1 reserve during Season of the Drifter for you to chase. It won't be released day 1 of Season 6, but keep your eyes out for the patch notes for availability.
Oh, so Briar just stopped reading too soon.
That
Shame on
doesn't
you,
sound like the weapons that we just got now are getting them.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like
Which
they're
is
still kind of, ignoring the Forsaken stuff. Which means, I mean, maybe that's their plan for September, is like that type of stuff to come around in like another year type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they want to see how the weapons are performing as well, to see what needs buffed.
I just want to make orbs.
Yeah.
Just have all exotics be able to make orbs.
That's honestly the biggest issue. Orbs and tracking the kills. Like, yeah, I like the additional thing that it does, but most importantly, I like the fact that I'm making orbs with it.
Yeah.
Zat77 says, what is the process of making a weapon guide? How long does it usually take to tell if a weapon is good or bad?
Cool guy, you go first. You're our guest.
So for me, I mean, I first established the strength and the weakness of it, right? Capitalize on the strength and kind of help mitigate and lessen the weakness. So we'll take last word, right? Review I just did. We have Lucky Pants. Like, we'll take the Hunter. Lucky Pants, Stompies. I was trying to give my personal opinion on what the best exotic to use is. So I usually do about 6 games, right? And when you start really thinking about it, 6 games with the Dragon Shadow, 6 games with Stompies, it really starts adding up. So a couple hours there, right? So that takes time. And I am not talking about it in the video because I'm talking about Lucky Pants, because that's what I decided is going to be the best, or that's what I'm going to recommend as the best Hunter exotic for last word. So it's very time consuming. What about you, Patrick?
As far as like starting the weapon review, I just read the perks, figure out what it's supposed to do, and then just go out and try it. Once I feel like I have an idea of what the weapon's supposed to do, I'll kind of, just think about what the intent of it is. It's what when I was taking theory and critique classes for photography, that's basically the premise of it. Is you look over the photograph, try to find out the artistic intent of the image, and then try to decide if that was successful. And if it is, describe why it's successful. If it's not, describe why it isn't successful. And that's the basic premise of a weapon review for me. But then as far as like how long that takes, it depends. It really depends. Most of the time, I have enough experience with the sandbox and everything, as do you. Like, I feel like you have a pretty good idea of it within an hour to 2 hours, depending on what you're doing. If you're going like hardcore into PvP, like it shouldn't take more than an hour or two to like kind of get the grasp of what the weapon's supposed to do, and then mastery comes from the later time. But yeah,
I agree.
Mohegan 9 says, what is the best bread? Breakneck, last word, Olive Garden breadsticks, or Red Lobster biscuits?
Red Lobster biscuits.
Cheddar Bay
Red
biscuits,
Lobster
man.
biscuits are
Red
next
Lobster.
fucking level, man.
That's one of the things I miss, being gluten free. Those babies were delicious.
Yeah, those
I've
things are
never been
fucking,
to Red Lobster.
those things are
You
like
only go for the
I haven't
breadsticks,
either.
or only
they're
go for the
pure
lobster biscuits.
goddamn butter.
The biscuits,
They're like
man.
as
Oh
much
my God.
butter as you can physically soak into a piece of bread, plus 10% more butter.
It is a super solution of butter disguised.
Yeah. Seriously. Rezo Lego says, I know it's early, but with the update, do you think the Crucible is in a good state with its weapon variety?
You're right. It is very early.
Currently, people are trying things,
Mhm.
and it's cool.
This is usually the way it goes. People
This is
try
always the
stuff
most
for about a
fun
week.
time to be in the Crucible, I think.
I
Is
agree.
when there's a
Yes,
whole
it
bunch of shit
is.
going on. You never know what you're going to see around the corner. He also asks, would now be a good time to see Trials return, or are there PvP changes that you'd like to see first?
I think
Bring Trials, man.
any point in time would be a great time to see
Anything.
Trials return.
Yesterday was
Bring
good.
3v3 elimination.
Yes, I would prefer the old school elimination with revive system.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so good for the game. It's good for Twitch. It's good for everything, really. I think it's needed. I'd love it. I'd love to have it back.
I definitely think the game is missing that aspect right now. With PvP, for me, I played 10 games, 8 of them for the getting all the stuff done on the quest, and then 2 of them with the last word. And while it did feel different from what I played in the past, and it was fun using last word in PvP, I'm still just like kind of done with the game's PvP personally. I've played enough. I've played like
I think we need different maps.
But like it's the same things that happen. And if I was a brand new player, I'd be all over the PvP. I'd be devouring it because it would just be incredibly thrilling and exciting. But because I've played the game so much in the past 3 years, I feel like I'm burnt out on the PvP. And so anytime I notice any of the inconsistencies that happen with it, with typically being like peer-to-peer or just straight up balance issues or the things that get heavily leaned on, I just find myself immediately not interested anymore.
It's a different thing than what you're used to in most games. Like if you were a Call of Duty player in the past, like you'd get a new game every year, right? Whereas with Destiny, you get tweaks to the same game, once every 6 months or every year.
Literally the same maps coming back.
Yeah, the same map. So it's I definitely see where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing Crucible lately and trying out this new gun called the shotgun. And
a little close
and
quarters.
Have you tried it with a tight
Close quarter combat.
Shotgun man.
yeah, I run and I slide and I shoot things.
You don't really
And,
need to slide. You can just run.
I have a nice video that I'm going to put up tonight of a guy teabagging me for the first time because I was running around getting all my kills with shotguns. I love it now. I'm embracing the inner shotgun warrior.
Are you using one-eyed mask?
I am.
You are Shotgun Man.
I am
Shotgun Man.
You found Shotgun Man.
I am Shotgun Man, the Void with one-eyed mask, and I got a really good retold tales, and I'm just going to town. I'm having fun, and I'm getting teabagged in the process.
So
I know you're doing well.
Tefty, you said that you currently you're kind of at a stalemate right now.
Yeah.
Not really enjoying. So if they did bring back trials, and we know that brings new weapons, probably armor. They're gonna have armor, probably like an emblem, things like that. But you think back to what was it, Last Perdition? Some of these really, really good weapons back in D1. Yep. Would that be enough to get you back in the Crucible?
I would play it for sure. I'd collect those weapons and items, the ones I want, and then I'd probably be done with it. Yeah, because like it's the prevalent issues that plague the Crucible right now, and it's getting more and more intense. There's a lot more DDoSing going on.
Queue times for PC, I've heard.
Yeah, queue times if you're playing comp on PC. There's just a lot of like
play.
There's a lot of like just straight up BS that goes along with playing the game's PvP. And as a new player, you tend to overlook that stuff. You're like, okay, cool. I'm going to get this stuff and have fun and just like settle into a loadout. I guess for me as a streamer, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. So I'm not as interested in it. And I definitely don't mean to say that I think that's how it is for the game and that's the direction that things are going, because I know a lot of people are really enjoying the PvP right now. And I think that's awesome. I'm not saying at all that like, oh, you shouldn't be enjoying this, blah, 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 or whatever. It's like for me personally, as a gamer, I feel like I've moved on from how the progression of PvP has happened with Destiny over the years. It's like I'm waiting for D3 at this point now because I want like a major shakeup, and I definitely want dedicated servers in the game. I don't want to have to go in because I'm a streamer thinking, oh, am I going to get DDoS this game? Like, that's stupid. That shouldn't happen in 2019. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my own personal viewpoint on that.
Chris Lennon says, do you think the last word should have come out with Thorn in the Drifter DLC and you have to choose a side? Two rivaling ideas fleshing out Destiny's story to players. Players would be so fucking pissed, but when I read this, I'm like, God damn, that's a good idea. If you had to choose a side, and if it was account-based, right? So you had to choose at this moment, am I a last word guy or am I a Thorn guy? and it's account based.
That'd be really hard for me because I want to be a bad guy, but I'm pretty sure last word works better for how I like to play.
That's a dope idea. Players would be so fucking
They would
mad.
be so mad. It would be amazing.
Y'all
Could you
kids
imagine
need-
Reddit after that?
Oh, it would literally light on fire.
y'all kids need to go play World of Warcraft, where you have to choose quest rewards. Yeah, you just worked on a quest. Okay, you get one of these rewards. Pick one.
Yeah, lots of
You never
games
get to do
it.
it again. Yeah.
Lots of games do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot do.
Oh my god, that would be amazing though. Like imagine if it, like this is more like something you'd expect from like Mass Effect. Yeah, I could never really see it getting into Destiny, but imagine if at that point you chose your path. Like, are you going to be a Dark Guardian? Like for the rest of Destiny 2? Like that's your path now.
And
That'd be
then they'd
dope.
have to introduce a light quest that you could do to go switch sides because people would be mad.
Fuck
I mean,
faction rallies. It's
Yeah,
light versus
similar.
dark.
You join those factions for those catalysts. I mean, a lot of people went on all their characters and kind of pledged one, and then it was like account based, right? So it's kind of the same thing with that. You miss out on certain things.
Yeah, but with those, you could just log in next month on a different one and get the other one. You know,
Yeah,
like it was a decision, but it was a short term decision. I'm talking about a long
like end all. Yeah, that'd be tough.
yeah.
Hmm.
Viking Samurai says, with all the reports of people having issues with the recoil of Last Word on console, I'm wondering if it thinks Bungie should start to balance PC and console separately. Even as a controller user on PC, I have no issues with the Last Word recoil.
The recoil is the same
On PC?
from if you plug in a controller and you just like do a thing where you shoot at the wall and let it go up. It seems, I would say it's possible that it's not the same, but from the tests that I've seen people do and what I've done, I believe it's the same.
Wait, for console
When you
PC?
ADS. Yeah, if you're using a controller.
Yeah, I was wondering
On
if you
PC.
switch to the same field of view, was it 73, 75, something like that, to simulate console field of view, how much different, if at all, if it actually is bugged?
Yeah,
It
I wish
just-
Bungie would say, "Hey, remember how good hand cannons were in Destiny 1? What was the secret sauce that made those so good? Let's add that to Destiny 2."
They did have the secret sauce. They just
They
felt
did,
so
man.
crispy.
Yes,
So
nice,
crispy.
Luna.
It was good sauce. Skyline Show says, "Do you feel the grind for Not Forgotten / Luna's Howl is worth trying now that the Last Word is out?"
Yeah,
They're
they play
legendary
differently.
weapons. Yeah. they're-
Yes, they're legendaries. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they also play very differently to each other.
Noodle James says, "Do you think Uldren will be a shadow and will Mara turn on us?" Mara.
Oh yeah,
Turn
Mara's gonna kick our ass.
It's not like I feel like Mara isn't going to turn on us. Mara's going to do what Mara's going to do. I mean,
But what is that?
so
I don't really feel like she was ever like our friend. She's just like
Correct.
our
She's shifty.
temporary like goals lined up for a short period of time. And when they don't, like, oh well.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when the Dorito ships come by the Tangled Shores, she's not going to stand in the way this time.
yeah, you guys should definitely go check out the
She
Queen
must
this week.
have heard
Go-
Holtz's story.
Yeah, I still need
So-
to.
Yeah, go do
Yeah,
do
I
Blind
need to as
Well.
well.
Go talk to the Queen this week. It's very interesting, and it'll probably give you some insight on that question.
I gotta do
Interesting.
Blind Well again. Can't I just watch a video?
Dude, go fucking find it on YouTube.
Just bring your hunter, man. Infinite Blade Barrage. It's fun.
Mm.
Yeah, but then you have to go pick up that
Yeah.
orb every time. It's not truly infinite blade.
That's
barrage.
true. You're right. Just watch a video.
Twisted Fate says, after visiting Mara this week, we unlocked a lore page that talks about being light level 999 to defeat Dul Inkara or Karu and break the curse. Do you think it's possible? And do you think it'll happen this coming September?
They're just like, whoop. Actually, it's not that big of a jump because we're going up to 700, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And in Penumbra, we're going to 750.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it actually makes sense, right?
Yeah.
999.
Yeah, I feel like that
If we-
actually isn't
If
unreasonable.
we get something like a September, which I feel is questionable, like I'm not sure that's on the table or not, We haven't heard anything about it. I certainly hope we get one.
It's an interesting
Doesn't feel out of reach.
I mean, could it be a segue into a third game, or could it be one of those? I mean, because you think 999 is going to be kind of max before either going over into the thousands or like a reset. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Every time I hear 999, I'm just thinking about football games for the PlayStation.
To explain that reference.
Okay.
Yeah, none of us know.
Aaron
what
Hogg says, with the Thorn coming back in Destiny, how much is Pope Bear looking forward to Anthem now?
Oh my God. I am so looking forward to Anthem. I'm really excited about
Are you?
Anthem. Anthem, I was watching you guys play because I mean, obviously I didn't have time to play, but I was watching you guys play. And the only thing that worries me about it, Tefty, is you use the
Interceptor?
you described it
Flood people.
as shh. You described it as more of a mix between the Division and Warframe, a Destiny comparison.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
So,
because people
when I
want
get-
to do direct comparisons with Destiny, and I'm like,
right.
it's very different. Aside from the fact that you do loot and shoot stuff.
So there's a couple
Very
things
different.
about Warframe and Division to the updated version of it that worried me and that didn't get me into it. Is that the progression was so the numbers game and the end game loot, the chase of it. If it gets into that level, the Diablo loot kind of style that you were talking about, I don't know if I can play in a system like that.
I think that's a valid
It was
concern.
the
Especially
time that I
two
have to play.
systems. Like if you got Destiny and
So I think that's definitely a valid concern because they are it. But by the looks of it, Anthem is going to be a grindy looter shooter.
Absolutely.
For me, that excites me because I like
Same.
Diablo being grindy. I like those aspects, so it makes me very excited. I also liked Warframe. Warframe's very, very grindy. It's probably on the edge of how grindy you can be in terms of like of things that you go after and perfect. I hope it's a nice balance, but like I don't know if there's going to be systems in play to help balance out the fact that maybe one person only has a few hours a week versus another person having like a part-time job or something, being able to play it. You know, I don't know how that's going to play out, honestly. And the end game is still kind of a big question mark. Like how powerful are you going to feel once you have that stuff in the game? Like those are all big question marks. Are you going to feel the payoff of suddenly being super powerful in Anthem? Like those are all things that I'm curious about, and I am very excited.
The jump
to play
from the
it.
beginning of the demo to the end of that demo was a big jump.
Did you get
power-wise.
Did you get the Devastator sniper rifle?
No, I did not.
That thing, that thing with the buff of the interceptor was
insane.
doing 14,000 per shot.
That's
Which,
crazy.
if you played the demo, 14,000 in one hit is massive. So
Yeah, even within the demo, like I went, you did the stronghold, the beginning, like standard difficulty, and you felt like, oh, it's getting kind of hurt in here, and then you go into the end, and you feeling like a god, like you can just go in there and kind of do what you want to do.
Also,
That stronghold saved
That's
it for
exciting.
me.
Yeah.
I was kind of skeptical, but then I did that and I wanted more.
Stronghold was fun.
Yeah, the stronghold was very fun.
Surprisingly.
And once you learn how to combo, like it's not okay. So here's another thing. If you're a Destiny player, I think a lot of people went into the Anthem demo playing it on the ground, shooting mostly, and every now and then using your abilities. And if you played it enough, you realized, oh, I need to be like flying 90% of the time.
Ability based.
Yeah. And I need to be using my abilities first. Once I run out of my abilities, I use my weapons. And once I've used my weapons, my abilities are back up, and you've got to make sure you do the combos and all that, because you do massive damage if you do the combos, like Mass Effect.
Tafty, I think that was a shitty demo because it didn't explain any of that.
Totally.
Right?
It's because you
they
start
should've-
at 10, right? Where you've missed all the first levels where I'm sure they're kind of taking you through all of that.
Yeah, they totally need like some kind of onboarding process to explain to players, like, here's how you play this game. Because, I mean, like server issues aside, like when you jump in, you're kind of just like left to your own devices, and you start shooting at this, like even before you get to the stronghold, you start shooting at like this tank boss, and you're like, holy shit, this is gonna take a half an hour for all four of us shooting at this thing. You don't understand that how your abilities work and how combos work and all of that stuff. So Like it really, the community, I feel like really kind of propped that thing up and said, here's how you actually play this.
Sure.
And
well, and here's the
BioWare
thing.
kind of should have had that in there.
But here's the thing. When you have a game that has those type of complexities already built into like the core combat loop, there isn't really an easy way to tell people like you need to embrace aerial combat. You need to embrace comboing with this stuff. And yeah, it's convoluted. It's not easy.
Even a tooltip though, like just a little bit of text on a loading screen just to give you a hint. Like, hey,
did you read all the loading screen combos stuff though?
I think so. I didn't see anything about that I remember.
Because there probably was hints in there. It's just
I saw a lot of fucking loading screens.
Yeah. When you first jumped
I think I caught it.
Did you? Yeah.
Well, to me, what do you guys think about it? Like the actual gunplay. I mean, I know it's a demo, and of course, there's going to be better weapons, better stats, but it felt very bland. If that makes sense. You figure out quickly. You need to use your abilities. Like I was using Storm, so you throw the ice and the fireball, but you take those weird shots every now and then. You're like, I'm just going to wait for my ability cooldown. But like you said, the sniper rifle, some of the better ones, you can really start feeling the difference.
I was surprised.
Yeah, I felt like as the weapons got better, I liked the gunplay more because it felt more impactful, and that may progress. Like once we get the game, like who knows how that's going to go. But to me, it felt like a third-person shooter. Like all third-person shooters, I feel disconnected from the weapons as opposed to a first-person shooter.
And we're spoiled as Destiny players. Destiny, like
very
the
spoiled.
guns feel incredible.
Gunplay in Destiny's unmatched.
Bungie are insane with making guns feel good. So with me knowing that, I'm like, okay, I know Destiny feels absolutely amazing. I was expecting Anthem's gunplay to just feel like just awful. And I was surprised with like the auto rifle and all those kind of full auto guns felt pretty good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then some snipers felt really good. Some felt where there wasn't a lot of feedback from them, but that might have been because of the audio issues. Because sometimes you'd shoot something and you wouldn't hear anything. You need that visual cue as well as the audio to be like, boop, I got that.
I got into the pistols. I started liking the pistols quite a bit.
Yeah, machine pistol.
Same,
the machine pistol.
The audio feedback was definitely not there for a lot of things too, and that's another thing that Destiny does really good.
The melee,
even though we like hate the flinch that happens on snipers and guns and all that, that's part of the game feeling good when you're in combat. Is that like you're getting visual and audio representations of things that they could just straight up turn off, but if they do, then you don't realize you're getting sniped from something. Like
exactly,
you don't have like the
sniper. I did use a sniper in that game, and it didn't have any recoil when I shot it. So like the only feedback I had when I shot it was like the actual clicking of the mouse. I felt so disconnected from that sniper rifle because like it didn't even like bounce up after I shot it or anything.
The Devastator, you felt that shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully some of the stuff's square.
Right. Yeah. That's why I was saying some of them I shot and I was like, oh, feels good. Then others I was like, did I actually hit that thing? I can't tell.
And then there's times where you're getting shot and you're like, where'd my shield go? And it's like, oh, something's hitting me and I just have no feedback on my screen right now.
Yeah.
That's really doing that.
But aside from the gunplay, like the abilities, like and the cooldown of the abilities, like the abilities cool down very fast. And then you can customize your abilities. You can actually swap out different abilities. Like if you don't like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're on the storm and you're not like big on this like freeze ray thing, you could change it to like a fireball or like you've got a ton of customizability, and then you can synergize those abilities to combo better.
Search for combos, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
combos
like
are fun.
Really, really cool stuff. Like
hitting combos is very satisfying.
And the flying felt so fucking good.
So
the flying felt real good. Swimming.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask you guys about like someone that didn't get a chance to play the. Maybe you're going to get a chance to play the demo for the first time tomorrow.
Right. Open
what
demo.
What are a couple things that you wish you would have known? Starting the
holding down control on the interceptor. Wish I knew that from the beginning.
Why?
That's a dodge.
It chains all of your flips, so you can like jump and then do those flips, and then you can jump again, then you can fly, and then you can dodge, and then you can do the flips again, and then fly. So like chaining all of those three things together was really, really fun.
Yeah,
if you played the demo last weekend, your progress moves forward too, so you can.
Yeah,
this is advice that you're giving to people who haven't played it, like Briar. Like, what are you telling somebody that's going to play it tomorrow? That's
experiment with your abilities and try changing those abilities to create combos, and you can create combos with other players. So like talk to your teammates, try and obviously if you're just jumping in and using matchmaking, it's going to be harder. But if you got a friend, start trying to use combinations between your two different frames and work that out. That's a lot of fun.
When you land in the water, don't try and swim straight away. Just wait for it to level out a little bit.
I hope
use a controller. Don't even try with a mouse and keyboard. It sucks.
I use mouse and keyboard.
Apparently they meant for the open demo.
It sucked, man. Like
when you're flying, fly high because you overheat, and when you fly down, it kind of decreases that heat, so you can kind of go like this.
Yeah, you get some of your back. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, the controller felt so much better. Like the game is so clearly optimized for a controller, or the demo is so clearly optimized for a controller. Like the mouse uses this weird like joystick like control, and it like you get used to it pretty quickly for flying. But once you hit that water, man, it felt like it was just busted.
So you have a lot of time to drown in water. I straight up drowned the first time I went. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was like, I can't see. It's all misty and electrical, and I can't. Oh, it was bad.
They make you overcorrect so heavily with that stuff. It's weird. Apparently in the final release, they're going to have better mouse and keyboard controls. I got to say, for me, I
certainly hope so.
So for me, I exclusively use mouse and keyboard, and yes, there was a lot of awkwardness. But I went in and I ended up maxing out the flying meters, both on precision and also sensitivity. That helped a bit. And then I was...
Oh, you maxed them out? See, I turned them down and it helped me out.
Oh,
I turned them down to like 20%.
Really?
It helped me out like tremendously.
I turned them down and I liked it as well. But then other people turned it up and they really liked it.
See, for me, it's the overcorrection that happens. So if you're overcorrecting with slow, like it makes these super awkward, I'm drunk moving type of things. But if you can just correct a little bit with that, then I felt like it was more natural for me with the way it was set up.
I just want him to get rid of that joystick thing. Like just make it like 1-to-1 movement. Like it works with the controller. It's so much better.
Yeah. I want to say though, somebody jumping in this weekend who's trying it out, definitely do not play the game like Destiny. I think you're gonna walk away with a really jaded opinion about it and be like, well, these weapons suck because they're not my exotics that I have on Destiny. And that's not the point of the game. The point is that you are literally flying most of the time, doing all these crazy dodges and doing the combos with your abilities, and then you're using your weapons to fill in the downtime when your abilities are not up. And again, most of the time you're flying. If you're doing this stuff like on the ground all the time, then you're missing the feel of what the game is.
Yeah. And each javelin, each class feels very, very, very different.
Yeah.
There are some people that tried the Colossus, didn't think that they would like it, but after playing it for a while, they fell in love with it because of what it could do. So yeah, each javelin feels very, very different. After playing the Interceptor for a day, I couldn't play Storm. I didn't know how to move. I was like,
Interceptor was so good.
How do I do this?
I loved it.
I'm only going to play the Interceptor, sorry.
Yeah.
Even in the demo too, there's quite a bit of exploration that you can do in that world.
Yeah.
And it's pretty nice. Like
free play I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did too. Like the optimization definitely wasn't there in the demo. And there was a lot of loading issues and stuff like that. So, but there were like these little kind of secret caves around. They weren't secret; they were marked on the map. But going in each one of those had like a different encounter in it, and
kind of like
it was
Lost
fun.
Sectors.
I liked it.
Yeah,
a little bit like Lost Sectors, a little bigger than what I would have.
One thing that I walked away with,
it's essentially the same.
One thing that I walked away with is like, imagine if you're playing Destiny and you say you're doing a strike or something, or after a PvP match or something, and a drop happens and it's a legendary grenade and it has different stats, and then you can equip that grenade. Like, that would be really freaking cool. And that's essentially what's happening in Anthem, is that like all those things except for your super are gear dependent.
Interchangeable.
Yeah, interchangeable. Yeah, so you can instead of going into your subclass essentially and swapping out which grenade and melee and all that, you're getting loot drops that way that have different stats that affect your all your abilities and stuff. So
unfortunately, you get the loot drops like kind of at the end of a mission, and you can't equip them until you go back to town.
That was a bummer. And
you can only bring 2 weapons with you. So like if you bring 2 short range weapons and all of a sudden you find yourself in like a long range battle, like you can't just like swap in a sniper. You got to go back to the fort to get a sniper.
Yeah.
I hope that changes. Like I hope they fix that.
What do you think, Patrick?
So here's how my Anthem experience went. Briar gifted me a code for it. Had to re-download Origin. In the process of downloading that, realized I had Peggle on my Origin account. Paused the download for Anthem and started playing the fuck out of Peggle.
Peggle's a fucking solid game, man.
Yeah, that's
The
how my
endgame,
Anthem
Yeah,
experience went.
I actually think you would really enjoy Anthem because you like having like big differences in classes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd really enjoy that aspect of it.
I'm down to try it. So this weekend is the next demo, and I'm down to play it on tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's play. My stream might be a slideshow during the low screens because it uses like 95% of my computer.
It is
But I'm actually playing the game. It's great.
Well,
Here's my
also-
question: how's the ultra wide support?
Don't know.
I don't know.
No idea.
Okay.
we do want to
Actually,
ask you
Tomo
guys
played it. I'll ask him.
if you guys can leave a comment. We were thinking about doing a side quest for Anthem, so in the next week or so.
I wouldn't
And
mind
if you're
talking a little Resident Evil as well. I know
So
Stephanie's
Yeah.
played
good.
it.
I played it on hardcore also.
Yeah,
Loved
you guys
it.
so if you're interested, make sure to leave a comment. We're definitely wanting to do the side quest again, and especially with these other games that we're playing. So let us know.
Yes.
But
Let's see. Do we want to do a few more questions? We're getting pretty late here.
2 hours deep. Do maybe like 2 more.
Oh wait, Brian, I have one.
What? You taking my job? It was scab labor.
I have a feeling you might skip over this one, Brian.
interesting.
This is from Insane on Twitter, who asked, question for DCP. Since we know scout rifles are a coward's weapon, which DCP member would be caught using one?
Obviously, Briar.
That is really
caught.
offensive language. Insane. Can we get a ban for him?
Shame.
I literally
Briar
haven't
is,
used the scout rifle since the update. So
I haven't either. Briar's become.
I love. I've been using actually them quite a bit, and a gun that I consistently deleted before is actually kind of interesting right now. Oh shoot! It just jumped out of my head. It's the PvP version of the
Does not compute.
does not compute. Thank you. Does not compute is actually really good.
nice.
Really?
But there's other.
You're giving Briar's an idea. Look at Briar's face. Really? And then I'll come to my arsenal.
There's lots of. There's actually
Oh,
a
yeah?
lot of. I play a lot of PvE, and I've curated some pretty nice scout rifles since Forsaken, and I love them. I use them quite a bit. I'm that coward hiding back, shooting enemy from a distance. I love
That
it.
box breathing raid one packs a punch, man.
Oh yeah.
You know what can't hurt you when you're using a scout rifle is a shotgunner.
Speaks
Especially-
fast.
Long
Especially
way
if he's
to
the last
come.
word with it.
Tyler Andrew Zelnis says, which game do you think would be better
Polaris
for
Lance.
mainly a solo player? What's that?
You got to restart, Briar.
Make sure to look at Polaris Lance if you haven't recently. It's really good.
Tyler Andrew Zelnis says, which game do you think would be better for mainly solo player to play? Anthem or Destiny 2?
Well, we don't.
There's no way to
Anthem
answer this
isn't-
question.
Yeah.
Anthem isn't out yet. We have no idea what the
Yeah.
group requirements are going to be. However,
They have said there's matchmaking for
It
almost
does
every
matchmaking.
activity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Myself.
But is
we
that
have no
going to
idea
be
what
good
the
or
end
bad?
game
'Cause
is
let
going to
me
be
tell
like.
ya,
Yeah.
doing the fort with people who had no idea about those sparkly
Oh,
things that you had
right.
to dunk.
Yeah.
Dear Lord,
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Too early.
Yeah. Too early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too early.
ALM says, hold on. I only get like 2 questions. Let me pick a question here. Okay, here's a good one. Celestine051 says, when eating packaged ramen, do you drain the water and mix the seasoning, or do you leave the water?
I don't eat
I-
ramen. I
Yeah.
don't know what ramen
You're eating
is.
ramen?
Ramen. Sorry.
wrong. It's wrong.
What about ramen?
I
It's
understood.
really gross.
I drain
don't
the
eat
water.
So what you really do is you mix the water in, or you mix the seasonings in before you put the noodles in. So then fucking let that drain down a bit from all the boiling. It reduces, and then you put the noodles in because those cook super fast, and then those absorbs all the noodly water. even more, and you reduce it down a little bit more. And if you like get your timing and everything down, then you have like just the perfect amount of like seasoned spiced water, soupy stuff, and then you also have perfectly cooked noodles. That's the real play.
There you go.
Basically,
I
get
stopped
good.
paying attention during that.
Basically, get good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put it in the microwave, and then what?
Yeah. Is it 4 minutes or 5 minutes?
Actually triggering. Holy shit!
Is it 4 minutes or 5 minutes? That's all I was asking for. Like,
You know, what you could do is also throw in some like broccoli, maybe some like barbecue pork or something into the mixture.
You guys have
No?
a very
All
different
right.
ramen experience than
Okay.
I do. My ramen was like what I existed on. Ramen and Hot Pockets were like the lowest cost food I could find when I was at college. And that
You can make that thing
it
good.
was
You can add a bunch
as
of stuff in
basic
there.
as you could be.
You can add
I was lucky
stuff
enough.
to it.
I was lucky to find hot water.
Make it
All right.
delicious.
How about this? Let me paint you a picture. You do what Holtz does. All right. In the very end, you whip out a nice, large, rotund pineapple. You dice that baby up. You throw it in there. All right. You have pineapple,
Man, that
ramen.
sounds like a winner move
All
to
right.
me.
Yes.
that's good stuff.
Or
Sold.
just
You're
crack
welcome.
an egg in it.
Atlas, New York City says you find yourself locked in a room with one of your podcast showmates. You cannot communicate verbally with each other.
I
And
read
you
this question
have
and it's really
headphones on.
dark. Can we just not?
Through the
It's
headphones. An
actually
ominous
super
voice
fucking
gives you
dark.
each instructions. For you, the instructions are walk over and haymaker your co-host as hard as you possibly can repeatedly. For the host that's in the room with you, the instructions are to smile no matter what happens. The one doing the punches dies, or the one doing the punching dies. Who is the one getting punched?
What?
Sorry, I didn't listen. Repeat, please.
No, I can't.
I'm with
This is a very dark question. I'm with Holtz. This is too dark.
It is.
There's
I don't-
I draw the
hiding.
line at death.
This
This
is-
Briar's hiding because he uses scout
Sure, you'll
rifles.
eat me, even if there's like a rescue
We could just
chopper, like
we could just
literally
chop
landing.
off a leg, man. You're still alive.
We can just eat Briar. The answer is we're eating Briar.
we could just have a limb. All right, come on.
I'm eating Briar.
I don't care who I'm punching. I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm eating Briar.
Vivid says, which would be worse, stranded on a deserted island or locked up in solitary confinement? That's a
Solitary
fucking easy one.
confinement.
Deserted island.
Yeah, at least
There's
your
worse,
island life,
is what I
man.
meant. Yeah, you get to
Yeah.
have sun. You'll be happy.
Yeah, you can be
More.
Jamaican, man.
You make
You
things
can walk
happen.
around on the beach. You can eat
Liebeck.
pineapples.
Pineapples. Sweet.
Yeah, pineapples.
Liebeck says, where's the love for Boner Spider?
Yeah, where's the love?
In our
That's
hearts,
an old
man.
name.
It's in our hearts.
It's been a minute. Poor
All right, that's
boner
it.
spider.
That's the questions.
Nice.
You want one more?
Quick one.
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, it's
One?
not-
It's a good.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
good?
Yeah, I mean, you got to make up for that dark ass noir. You know, like
It's not even noir. That's just like
I didn't make up the
14-year-old
question, Pope.
edgy shit.
yeah, but you
Hey,
know,
it's Lou says, which Ninja Turtle are each of you? You pick your own.
Pick our own.
Have
That's
we
no
answered
fun.
this one before?
I feel. Yeah, actually, we have. Yeah,
I don't know enough about Ninja Turtles, so I'm just gonna say Splinter.
Clearly, you don't
I'm the
know anything
pizza.
about Ninja Turtles. He's a rat.
All right.
I'm the pizza.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry, Brian.
So thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Destiny Community Podcast. If you want to find more of me, I'm at Holtz.
Oh, one more question. One more question. ALM says, what is your favorite video game soundtrack?
Bastion.
Final Fantasy VIII.
Honestly, Destiny's
And 10.
really good.
It is.
Destiny is pretty
Yeah, Destiny's an amazing soundtrack. Hits you with the
I'm gonna
feels.
say Halo,
Ooh, Halo.
but the most hype
Oh,
probably goes
pretty good.
to the Battlefield 3 score. Like, I go with Halo for the soundtrack.
I really like the Witcher 3 soundtrack. Celeste was really good last year. I'm going to say Celeste because it was newer.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Nailed it.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you all for tuning in. I'm just gonna use Nick. Edit my other thing I said and just put it right here. Okay.
Okay.
What?
That's
Did you actually give an editing direction live?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently.
powerful.
Excellent. Excellent. No, I I definitely not surprised by that.
Briar?
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me outside shoveling snow. It's -2 degrees. Please give me a jacket if you see me.
Nice. I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. Streams twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. I will be playing a lot of Anthem because I really enjoyed it. So there's gonna be a lot of Anthem on my channel, honestly. That's it.
I forgot. Now that's it. We're done. Bye, guys. I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts. I also will be playing a good amount of Anthem and Destiny and Metro and Sekiro. It's very, very exciting.
When's Sekiro coming out?
Is that how you're
Soon,
supposed
right?
to
Is that
pronounce it? Is Sekiro?
March 22nd? Oh, it's too soon.
It's close.
Hold up. The pronunciation. I've been calling it Sekiro this whole time. Is that horribly wrong?
Sekiro. Yeah.
Wow, I can't say that.
Sekiro. What do you mean? You could just say Sekiro.
Just add a fucking American twang to it. Sekiro.
That's awful.
Sekiro.
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 You know, they say that people from the South sound musical, but I'm not feeling it.
And I am CoolGuy. It's /CoolGuy tips for YouTube, and Twitter's I am CoolGuy YT. And I'd like to thank you guys for having me. It's been really
Thanks
fun
for coming
talking
on,
some
man.
Destiny with you guys, man. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you so much.
And this has been Pope Bear. You can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear, and make sure to follow the podcast at DCP_live. We're gonna have all the contact information for CoolGuy and his where you can watch his stuff. I highly recommend you add him to your rotation. It's very informative, highly well thought out content, and you're gonna enjoy it. So make sure to give him a shout out and in his comment sections and fill that stuff with positive things. So I just wanted to thank you, CoolGuy. I really appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing, and we can't wait a year from now to see you like blowing up.
Hell yeah, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, and we got a ton of stuff happening this coming month. Make sure to follow us on the Twitters because God, I don't want to get into it, but we're gonna get some phenomenal stuff going on for Valentine's Day, and Dado's gonna be on. It's gonna be good.
Is Briar sending everyone a body pillow of himself?
I'm not gonna spoil
I want
it. You're gonna need to make sure to tune in to that Valentine's Day episode for sure. We've got a ton of stuff. I wanted to personally thank the patrons, what you guys do, and this Twitch. Everybody subscribe to us on Twitch. You guys make this possible, and it's without you, we wouldn't be able to do this. So I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you all
This
for
is you,
tuning in.
Tefty.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna roll credits and then read out subs.